right, enough of that introduction music here. Good morning, Robert. How are you? Sound of Silence tag. Dennis for President 2028. I was not born in the United States of America, unfortunately. Otherwise, I probably would run. You know what would be badass? And I'm going to tell you why I think that Marco Rubio is going to be such a great president. None of the presidents that we have speak Spanish. Not that that is the greatest thing, right? But none of them speak Spanish. I know Low Energy Jeb. Remember that Low Energy Jeb? Yeah, he actually spoke some Spanish. He was trying to speak Spanish on his debates, and I thought, what a good thing to have. You know, it's a good skill. You have here in the United States of America, English is the official language, right? Yeah. But you have all the Latin Americans from Mexico down. Boom, everybody's Spanish. You know, even Brasileiros, right? Even the Brazilians, they speak Spanish and Portuguese, but they speak Spanish. And it'd be nice, man, to have a president that actually goes out there and knows how to speak the damn language. I just think it'd be great. I know that I would be, able to communicate with anybody in the world. Obviously, there's translators and all this stuff. I know I speak four languages for people that don't know, and it's it's interesting how people just they just judge us for for whatever the hell they want to judge us for. But it's all good. Let me tell you what. Forget about this me being president here because it's never going to happen. Although maybe one day I'll probably go back. I'm going to have to renounce. I'm going to have to do it. I'm going to have to renounce to my American citizenship. For all the libtards that like to come in and troll, right? Jot this down for your notes. All right? Jot this down for your notes here real quick. I will have to renounce to my American citizenship, and then I can run for president in Honduras. I think it's very doable. It will be a good thing. I will make sure that we have a great relationship with the United States of America. And hey, I'll be able to get some discounts for all my American brothers. You know what I'm saying? And sisters, of course. All right, I want to start off with some good news this morning. And the good news is that President Trump actually reached out to kind of he reached out to this Iranian crazy ass regime, and he asked for the 8 women that were going to get executed to not, and they agreed to release 4 of them, I believe, and the other 4, I think they're going to do a couple of months in jail. I don't like it. I don't like it, but this is what President said today. Let me see. Yeah, I'm getting a few followers here on the X account. You know what? Before we start, let me grab. And I'm sorry if there's like a little echo there for a second. Let me grab. First of all, let me get a couple, both of the chats here ready. Let me get the landscape chat ready. And by that, I mean, it's like I have to go in and get the window. Don't worry, I'll come back and say good morning to you guys. Give me a second here. Both of the chat. There we go. There's one. All right, so this is my landscape chat. Okay, good. The window's working fine today. I like it. Okay. All right. Good morning, Robert. Big bro in the house. Late as usual, he says. Jason Beatrice, what's up? He likes that music? Yeah, me too. I like it as well. I get all my music. I do have memberships. So all my music that I get is from bensound.com. So in case, you guys want to use some of that music, you can. It is like $100-something a year. And I like it. I've been using them for my photography and all this stuff, even though I've taken down all my videos because they sucked. But you know what? I'll probably start doing some of them again as for my members only. Unc Andy in the house. Good to see you on here. And now let me go ahead and get the chat for the portrait mode because I think eventually all of you guys just migrate that way. Yeah. And Jason Martin's already there. First one in the portrait mode. As I said, Robert and Unc Andy is already on portrait mode. Cray Miss, just so you know, Thomas Jefferson and John Quincy Adams were both fluent in Spanish. Is that right? Thomas Jefferson? That's very good to know. That is very good to know. But you know, there's presidents out there though that like Nayib Bukele, right? He's Spanish, but he speaks fluent English, and I think he speaks very good. You know, he speaks well. I like it. And Joseph Perez, Jose Perez in the morning says Trump is about to annex Alexandria. Apparently, it wasn't given back to Virginia properly. Hey, speaking of Virginia, man, I got some good news. I already shared them. But speaking of Virginia, so sad what's happened over there. I was talking with Robert, having a personal conversation with Robert. Oh man, I got to turn on my don't quit sign in the back. I bet nobody even noticed, but that's okay. Let's see, what is this? I'm having some errors here on the browser for some reason. There we go. Now we're back. All right, here we go. Let me put this here. This is going to be the landscape mode, I think. Is it? No, that's the portrait mode. All right, this will be the portrait. And this will be the landscape here. Okay. All right. If you're president of Honduras, I'm going expat. I've been considering living the U.S. for a while. Oh, well, I'm going to tell you. Hey, guys, before we get going, man, I wasn't sure. What do you guys think? Should I put a tie on or no tie? If you say tie, put a 1 on the chat. No tie, put a 2 on the chat, and we can continue. And no, I don't use clip-ons like when I was 5 years old. Wedo, good morning. Go away. Wedo is fluent in English. I like it. You know what's fun? No tie. Okay, I got 1 to 1. 2 to 1. No tie. 2 to 1. Nobody wants to learn how to do the double Windsor knot. Tied up. 3 ties. The tie does not go with the hat. I think it's gold. It goes with the hat. What are you talking about? It matches. This is why I didn't know if I wanted to wear it. No tie. Man, this is crazy. All right. We'll see. I'll get 1 vote from a woman, assuming that there's no libtards in here, from a woman that says tie or no tie. Hey, you can't double vote, man. I saw you put tie in there. Keep it loose and casual, says Jason Martin. I like that. You convinced me. All right, no tie. Ladies were too slow to put in their Salam Satter says a tie. But I think the majority is no tie. So we'll keep it no tie. That's fine. But oh man, hold on. Oh, coffee. Oh. Guys, I'm looking for sponsors. If you know of a company that has great coffee, let me know. Tell them to get in touch. Oh, 13 Moorish, man. All right, let's see what this guy wants today. But first, let me turn my don't quit sign. All right, now we're good, 100%. Now we're live. Now when the sign is on, we are live. On the air. All right, let's see what Mr. Moorish here says. American soil free from colonizers here in America. Pay attention to the Supreme Court dealing with this birthright citizenship argument because it will open the eyes of the people. It should. It sure will. I'm going to tell you something. You know, we had the good news that President Trump actually got this Iranian regime, to not kill these women. Here, let me share my X account here with you guys. I don't know if you can read that on the vertical side, but don't worry, I'm going to read it anyway. My man, Magic Man in the house. Chair Bear, how are you? Ned, how are you? Good to see you guys in here. And happy Wednesday. It is the belly button of the week. Hump day! Hump day! If you guys know, I like to make sounds from certain commercials, and I think that one was actually kind of funny when it did come out. Corny but funny, and you know, that's what I like. I like that. All right, here we go. It says, very good news. I have just been informed that the 8 women protesters who were going to be executed tonight in Iran will no longer be killed. 4 will be released immediately, and 4 will be sentenced to 1 month in prison. Okay, whew. I said 2 months when I started. I very much appreciate that Iran and its leaders respected my request. As President of the United States and terminated the planned execution, thank you for your attention to this matter. And of course, he goes on, and now we're going to have to start talking shit, apparently, is what he thinks. Man, I got a couple of good things. Listen, there's a lot of videos that I have not had a chance to go over. There is, you know what, I don't remember if it was good enough, but I did create, I don't think I added it to my scenes. I did create a new thank you members clip. So I will try to add those in there as I give you thanks with the original one that I have. And the new one actually has the new members on it as of yesterday. So I went ahead and updated that. And I appreciate you guys, man. You guys are pushing me forward towards the goal of 100,000 subscribers. Now, granted, we don't need 100,000 subscribers to make money. There's other ways to make money. I know we can do merch. We can do all the kind of stuff in there. Obviously, sponsors can do that. But the reason why I like more subscribers is because we would like to get a wide audience so that we can all be on the same page. There's too many channels out there that are just lying to the people. They give you information based on emotions, based on theories. And I always tell you guys, don't go with theories. And if I tell you a theory, I'll let you know that is just a theory. It is just my opinion, right? I always tell you guys that. If you've been here with me long enough, you're my witness that I always say that. And I also tell you, take what I say with a grain of salt. Don't just believe me. Go do some research. Go double check information. Because maybe there'll be a time where you'll be like, hey, Dennis, remember you said it was $55 billion? Well, it's not $55 billion. It is only $15 billion. And you know, things like that. All right, I think my camera is about to shut down. So I'm going to go ahead and take the camera off. I got to go fix it. But I will play this clip. Yeah, about 6 minutes. This is Melanie's plan to pay lawyers. This is good. I haven't seen it. But I think the camera just was lying to me. Camera's doing good, I think. All right. No. It is messing up. All right. So the Prime Minister of Italy wants to pay lawyers extra money to deport their clients back to their country. Check this out. Let's go ahead and put this on the screen. before I lose my camera.
Well, look, let's go overseas now to Italy. The Italian Prime Minister, Giorgia Meloni, I have to say over there, is really setting the standard for the world on how to deal with illegal immigration. Hello, Keir Starmer. You could probably learn a lot from the Italians, would you believe? Now, she is telling Italian immigration lawyers that she will give them bonuses of about 1,000 Australian dollars if they were to send their clients back home, if they were successful enough in turning them around and saying, well, go back to where they came from. Now, this is a fascinating proposal when you think about it. It's been called a Wild West bounty. I mean, really. It's a repatriation scheme that has been contained in a government security bill, which has just been approved in the Senate, and it's due to be debated in the lower house of Parliament over in Italy. I say, good on her. Well done. Thank you, Giorgia Meloni, for saying no, enough is enough. Now, Giorgia Meloni has been very, very strong on immigration. Depends on who you ask. If you ask some of my Italian relatives over in Italy, I don't know about yours, Gemma, they'll say no. But, for example, she was instrumental in a couple of weeks ago in convincing the EU to implement African asylum blocks. They're what are they? They're deportation hubs, basically, whereby asylum seekers would be held over in Africa before they come. So already she has been instrumental in saying, yet the EU needs to rid itself of asylum seekers. They've also got in Italy a deal with Albania for something similar. And she's been strong. I mean, she's been deporting imams who spew hatred in the middle of the piazzas there. She's been very strong in saying, no, bugger off, go back to your country. I'm all for this. I say good on you. I think it's great.
I just got back from Italy 10 days ago, so have some really useful context. But more importantly, it's really important for Australians to understand the context in which she was elected. Again, just by chance, I was in Italy when she was elected. It was the first time I'd been back after COVID. And there was a policy at the time where if you turned up, if you were a migrant or an asylum seeker and you set foot on Italian soil, usually it's in Lampedusa in the south, in Sicily, very close to the closest part to sort of North Africa. If you landed, that's it. You're there, you get government support, you don't have to prove your identity, you don't have to prove anything. You literally are on terra firma and you are golden. And that was a big problem. That was the primary wave on which Meloni's government was elected. It wasn't, as many people said to me at the time, I'm not anti-immigration, I am anti-mass, uncharted, unfettered immigration. And that's what Italy had. And for those of us who live in Australia, we're an island, we know that thousands of people have lost their lives trying to get here. But we don't have that problem. We don't have any concept of what it's like to have your borders so vulnerable to a vast cohort of people coming with no intent to work, no intent to have themselves put through anything resembling an immigration process. One of my cousins said to me, I don't mind helping people, but I'm an Italian taxpayer. I was born here. I don't get any financial support. She's a single mother. Why should somebody who has rocked up on a boat and doesn't want to contribute get paid to stay at home? Because that was the situation. So if you're looking to wonder why Meloni's policies are so popular, because she inherited such an ungodly manure show of a problem. So it was a big mountain to climb. This policy, let's call it bold, but she's popular, and I know
outside the box.
People are talking about this devastating referendum defeat. It was nothing of the sort. It was no more devastating to Meloni's popularity than The Voice was to Albanese's popularity. It was a highly technical referendum that was defeated because referendums rarely get up, and that applies to other countries, not just Australia. So, look, my view is that she'll get away with it because she is a rock star in that country, because she's actually delivering on what she says she does, and she does it, in a way that don't underestimate a Roman woman.
Well, I think the telling thing is that Australia did get a taste of what that was like in the early 2000s.
Yeah.
And, of course, we had the Tampa.
Sure.
The Tampa thing with John Howard. We were talking about Pauline Hanson before.
Yeah.
And Howard absolutely threaded the needle. Australians hate uncharted, undocumented, unknown asylum seekers just rocking up on their shores. And when that all died down, the boats had been stopped and Kevin Rudd was elected and thought, oh, everyone's calmed down about that now. We can just go back to being a nice, touchy-feely, open-door, humane country. As soon as those boats started again, immediately it was disaster for the government. And, of course, the Prime Minister lost his head over that and plenty of other issues. So I think the left is its own worst enemy. When it says, hey, come on in, guys, the weather's fine, one in, all in. And if you, people hate porous borders. They hate open borders, and that includes lots of working people who feel like this is undermining their value as labourers and employees.
Absolutely. And it's not like what I've really loved about the immigration debate since, whoever's policy it was, Angus Taylor's policy, about that is it should be about my dad rocked up here on a boat as a 10-year-old boy. Yeah. My nonna rocked up as a woman in her mid-20s, hadn't seen her husband in 2 years, ready to make a new life. Her intent was to be Australian.
But just a quick question though, how do you pay a lawyer to advise their client against their client's
Well, I think if they successfully do it, then they get their bonus. So
yes,
basically,
but the whole
it's
point
like,
of being a lawyer is that, are you not legally bound to act in your client's interests?
Maybe they argue, and I don't know the answer to this, but maybe their argument is, look, actually, it's in your best interest to go back.
But then they would be telling them that without the $1,000 bribe.
That's true. Actually, that's a very good point. That is a very good caveat.
Italy has many mysteries.
But I feel like in Italy you would get away with this because there are no rules in Italy.
Right.
Nobody ever follows any rules.
Let me tell you about my lost baggage. That's one for another day.
Yeah, nobody ever follows rules. Now,
nobody follows the rules, but I think it's very interesting. I think it's interesting that she's proposing that because, I think that lawyers are here. Obviously, everybody's here to make their money, but I think that lawyers sometimes, especially defensive lawyers, sometimes I think they do it for the right reasons, but I also feel like if you have lawyers like judges, especially here in Washington State, that have been politicized. To destroy the people's freedoms is very dangerous. And I think that, her giving them money as an incentive to get rid of all these people that shouldn't be here, because the real reason why she's doing that is because they all claim the same BS of asylum, okay? And I think that we have evolved into a world where now we have borders. Now, why do we have borders today? And this is just going to be my 2 cents. Now, listen, 13 Moorish, man, this guy is too extreme. The guy believes that there is no countries, that there's no borders. This guy is living in La La Land. But today we'll talk about the land. Team Hype, the hypocritical in here, actually came in here and says a stupid ass comment. Let me just go ahead and give you a general comment of what I think about the Americas. Listen, it is said that most of our Indian or most of our natives are Asian descent, and I can tend to believe this. The world was once a one piece. Every single human being in this world has learned to hunt and gather to eat. And then they make rules as time goes by. So there's not enough food. There is people that don't like you. Then you start separating each other. You start separating from each other. And then you make a rule. You don't come to this side of my hunting ground. This is now my hunting ground. If you come through here, I will put an arrow through you. So they did have borders, just not like the ones we have today. And so we have migrants. We have our natives. They migrated south, north, east, west, and the law of the land is not first come, first serve. The law of the land is survivor of the fittest. The strong will survive. That's how that works. Native Americans were fighting each other. It's not like they were just, hey, happy brother, hey, how, happy brother, hey, happy. No, they were not. They had their border. They have their boundaries. And they will kill the opposite tribes if they didn't respect those boundaries. So don't give me this jurisdiction thing. about your land. Don't be a hypocrite. So they fought each other. There was chaos. There was sacrifices. I come from a civilization of savages. They were sacrificing our own people because the crops didn't come out the right way, because the rivers dried in the summer season. So let's not get it twisted. If I have had many conversations with Native Americans, and there is those tribes that are so proud, their egos are so high, and I get it. There's nothing wrong with being proud. Nothing wrong with that. But every single conversation that I have had with them, they have ended with the same comment. If the white men didn't come to the United States of America, our tribe would have conquered the rest of the tribes. So don't be a hypocrite. Robert, don't block people yet. Nobody blocked people yet. Let me read these comments. I don't know what the hell GUD is, but whatever. Apocalypto is a movie, but they're pretty damn close. We had rocks, sacrificial spots that will make your chest pop out. They will tie your hands, and the reason why they have the chest pop out is because that's how they will take your heart out. Different natives had different tactics to do this sort of work. I can't believe you took me back this far to tell you how hypocrite you are, talking about this is not the United States of America, this is not a country, borders don't exist. What a retard. The Apaches were scalping people. The Comanches were probably one of the strongest natives back in history, which, by the way, the Comanches weren't doing shit because that was a Spaniard territory, controlled territory. So they were checked. Now, I know that there's a high chief from the Comanche tribe that calls me here once in a while. And he knows more about the history than I do. But what I can tell you is that we bought that territory, the whole Comanche territory, and the mid part of the United States of America. We got that from the Spaniards. As we start building our states, we started with colonies, 13 colonies. We have the flag with 13 stars. That's what that stands for. You know, and then we have our states. And then Texas and then other states were annexing into the United States of America. Do you know why? Do you know why? Do you know why they were annexing to the United States of America? And let me tell you something. Let me see. Let me look it up and see if the information is still the same. Let's see. Let's see. Okay. So about 90% of the natives that were here in the American land died from pathogens like smallpox, measles, and influenza. Of course, violence, some forced removal, starvation following colonization. Modern leading causes of death for American Indians and Alaska Natives include heart disease, cancer, and unintentional injuries. So 90% were killed by disease. That would have came here at any given time. It is your immune system that wasn't ready for it. But because of the white man, the settlers, yes, the same people that you don't like, because of them, you got new medicine. You no longer have this superstitious medicine that didn't do shit for you. You no longer have these fake cures But the white man gave you the cure and you had a choice. Martin, don't block anybody. Man, don't guys, don't block any comments yet. I want to read these hypocrites. Let me see what they say first, okay? I want to read it because I want to shut their mouth. Nobody says we were perfect. No shit, Sherlock. Nobody will ever be perfect. But what I'm saying is we have the right to self-determination, Junior. Listen, old man, if you are an old man, you don't know shit about history and you don't know how the world works. And don't have to be tied down to the United States. Okay, you don't have to be tied to the United States. You can go to any country that you want. Go to Mexico. That was Native American territory. Yeah. All of this area over here. Texas, New Mexico. Let me tell me, Nourish Man. Where is your tribe from? Which part of the states? Was it Texas, New Mexico? Was it Colorado? Maybe Utah? Arizona, maybe? Maybe some parts of California or Oregon? Maybe Washington State? Maybe Idaho? Which part of the United States was your tribe from? Go ahead, enlighten me, educate me, give me some information that I can work with. Go ahead. I'm giving you a chance. I told these guys not to block your comments. I'm going to go ahead and address this today. Might be boring for a lot of people. A lot of people might leave and go through. That's fine. But we're going to get through this together. Together. Go ahead, Moorish man. Tell me, which tribe do you belong to? And which part of the country? Oh, this is so awesome. It's so good when common sense kicks in, ain't it? No Incan. I know the Incas. Yeah. There's Palos Verdes, there's Incas, there's Oaxacas, there's Aztecs, there's Mayans. There's a lot of different Indians, but we're talking about North American Indians, which is what he's talking about, I believe. You can watch Resident Evil as many times as you want, but the Umbrella Corporation, we're talking about real stuff right now. Dummy says he's American Aboriginal. Yeah. he's an Aboriginal American is what he says. Absolutely, bro. Absolutely. Robert said Moorish man is from the dumbest tribe. Guys, be nice. Be nice. Be nice. I'm trying to give him a chance. All right, here you go. He's not going to say it because he knows what I'm going to say. But here's the thing, okay? Here's the thing. The territory where he's from, okay, belonged to Mexico. That's right, Mexico. And that's right, they had a border. They look after the territory, even though people will come and go, that's fine. But if you were caught that you did not belong to that part of the territory, you would be killed. Moorish man, I told you, today is your lucky day. I feel very generous that I will allow people to go ahead and, even if it's a stupid-ass comment, I will allow you to go ahead and put your 2 cents in there. All right. So, you didn't answer my question. That's okay. That's all right. Hey, Sandra, good morning. Good morning. Jay's says for the tribe of Ashand. Ashand. You guys are funny. But anywho, all right. So he is from the land that was claimed by the Mexicans, by the Mexican government. And the Mexican government can claim it because, well, I mean, they are the true descendants of the American Native Americans, right? Absolutely. Guess what? So is my descendancy. So shut the hell up if you don't want to love this country. So here's what I'll tell you this. If we give the natives, okay, the reservations, they already had the reservations. If we give the natives, that's right, Lisa, they were colonized by Spaniards. But if we give the natives, okay, let's say we all give the land, boom, back to the Native Americans. Tell me on the chat, what do you think will happen? What do you expect to happen? Give it to me straight. Give it to me straight. Let's say we give the land back to the Native Americans. Well, we're not going to pretend. We know that you haven't learned shit about history or have any idea of what's happening in this world. But I want you to tell me, what do you expect to happen in this land? Peace and prosperity, he says. Well, that's not what history says. History says that if I came to the wrong side of the territory, I will get an arrow through my face. I don't think that's peace and prosperity. Plus, they were running out of fields to hunt bison and other animals. So go ahead and guess again. Not peace and prosperity. That's bullshit. But guess again. Jason said, I just can't picture Dennis up on a pyramid with an obsidian blade in one hand and beating hard in the other. I can. Felipe says, back to normal. What do you think life was like back then? What do you think life was like? Marvin, thank you for the jewels. Sent the clapping seal. Here we go. Tim Hype has an opinion. Here we go. They did this already, Dennis. You don't know what. You don't know about the dolls. What the? You don't have any idea. You were clueless. Okay, bro, answer the damn question. What do you think is going to happen if we gave the land back to the Native Americans? Peace and prosperity. That is a beautiful thing to say. I wish. They had no, well, yeah, yes, some native tribes did have voting systems. Back then, mommy made some butter chum. Is that chum or churn? I don't know. Let's see. Some natives want to see land built. Jay, more casinos. Maybe that's what he means by peace and prosperity. Why were they running out of bison? My friend, stop asking dumbass questions. Answer the question. What do you think will happen if we gave back the land to the Native Americans? We go back to the Stone Age. That's getting warmer. Because the U.S. Army killed all of the bison so they wouldn't have any food. That is true. I'm not going to argue, but answer the damn question. We are not going to change the bad things that have happened in this country. Let me tell you something. You have been in my channel long enough to know this story already. How convenient, Team Hype. Always full of shit. But anyways, thanks for stopping by. Listen, when I was a kid, in Honduras, we had this, it was predominantly Catholics, okay, in my childhood days. And so my mother was a Catholic. So we were Catholics technically because of my mother. Nobody's getting kicked out right now. Nobody gets kicked out. Nobody kick anybody out, okay? When I was in second grade, okay, I was about 7 years old. And they started teaching us about history, our history, okay? And, you know, every experience that we have gotten from the Catholics, right? I'm not talking about, you know, with the cathedral and all that stuff. We had Spaniards, you know, cardinals and nuns from Spain. And they would come over and they would say, peace and love and joy. Right? And peace and love and joy. And they will come to our school. But at the time that they came to our school, I was in second grade and I was learning history. And our literature books, that's what it's called, a literature book, will show us our history. And it showed how Christopher Columbus, an explorer with the Spanish Armada, las carabelas, right, the 3 ships that were brought in with the Spanish Hernan Cortez and all of these assholes that came here to the Americas. When Christopher Columbus came into the Caribbean waters, closer to the Central America, he saw the islands of Honduras. And he said, thank God for this Honduras. Honduras means deep waters, because their boats would have been destroyed. This is how Honduras got the name. Now, this name was given first as Guanaja, and it was changed to Honduras later for the whole country. But the point is that I learned that they came in and raped our women, pillaged, stole our gold, took all of our silver, killed our hero by betrayal. Not in war. They couldn't beat us. Interestingly enough, cannons and muskets, none of these things could kill our Indian leader. They eventually learned to teach, they eventually taught Spanish to our Indians. And so our Indians will talk to our leader and say, hey, they want to come in peace. And it shows a picture of our Indian leader, our high chief, standing on not a mountain, or on a cliff, at a cliff. And it shows a picture of the Indian on a horse and a Spaniard guy in the back with the musket. They had a white flag. They told them the white flag means peace. That means that they will not cause any harm. And that's how they killed them. And after learning all of this history, I thought to myself, at the age of 7, F these Spaniards. I hated them. I hated them and I wanted them dead. Dead. Even these Catholic priests and cardinals and nuns that came over here with peace, love, and joy. Where is our shit? I wanted them dead. Interestingly enough, God put in my heart and gave me wisdom at that moment. I'm so grateful. God is amazing. And I thought that happened back then was 400 years. What's that? 900, 400, 480 years ago. 480 years ago this happened. I speak Spanish. Everybody speaks Spanish. We understand each other. We're not killing each other anymore because we don't speak the same language. Here is some Catholics from Spain, and I understand them because we speak Spanish. Our country, our native land, developed. We started building small cities. Got a little bit better. We had slavery. We had all these atrocities happen to us as well. And for ignorant people, I don't know who muted you, Moorish, but it's okay. You can stay there. Nobody's going to mute you there. Don't mute him, Jason, Beatrice. But if you do say some stupid shit, I will mute you. My point is that as a 7-year-old, I understood that there was a lot of bad things that happened, not just in Honduras, but throughout whole Central America, North America, and even South America. A lot of bad things has happened in history. So here in the United States is the same thing. A lot of bad things have happened from foreigners. But we're not going to play innocent. We're not going to play innocent. before the Spaniards came. We were decapitating people, taking hearts out, sacrificing our own people. No white man had to come and do that. No Spaniard had to come and do that. We were doing it ourselves. We were savages. We were savages. And that is why I am a different type of native in the United States of America. This is why I understand why we have become this country. It doesn't matter if we're original or not. That is just ignorance. That is just self-centered ideologies that are selfish. I have all these words in Spanish, not in English. But I can tell you, that makes you stupid. You're living in a fantasy land. You think that the natives were so holy and mightier than thou. But they weren't. There's a lot of good things. I know my Navajo people, I consider them my people because they are so alike with the way that I believe from my native side. I love nature. I feel connection with animals, even with the ones that bite my ass. I feel a spiritual connection with life in this world. And I appreciate it. But I also realize that there is others out there who are violent. The Comanches, the Apaches. There was a lot of original tribes. Well, you can call yourself Aboriginal all you want. It doesn't make you good. And you can have all of these tribes. And you can say, oh, it'll be so peaceful. It will be so great. Oh, there will be no war. No, let me tell you. And I know that we're making this a little bit longer than I wanted to. But there is a point. Do not ever come into my channel again acting ignorant because you have the information after today. We gathered everything that we have in the United States of America through wars, bloodshed, treaties, etc. We have evolved culturally. Our civilization has evolved to the next level. The one question that you never were able to answer is what would happen if we gave the land back to the natives? Peace and prosperity, fantastic. I like that. But that's not true. Back to the Stone Age, most likely. Let me give you Nourish. What the hell are you talking about? I can't. He says you cannot handle the truth. That is, we can talk like me on the phone or not on here, so you can get views and you can record it and pair it if you want. Nourish, this guy, man. How many times have you seen my show, and how many times do you think I give a shit about that? I don't care. I don't care about that. There was a lot of evil people back then, as there is today. The fact is, if you don't like what the United States of America is, then get the hell out. You are free to go wherever you want. Go be a free migrant. Go migrate to Mexico. That's still North America. That's still part of your land. Go get it. Tell the Mexicans to give it back to you. It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. A price was paid. A treaty was made with our native, the original Americans. A treaty was made. A deal was made. So don't act stupid. You can be ignorant. Ignorant just means that you don't have all the information. Because I can be ignorant all the time. Of course I can. Yes, I agree. I can be ignorant. But stupid, that's just something different. That is just something different. If you want to be stupid, you can be stupid. Okay? But I believe that we have rules, that we have laws, our culture. Listen, our culture is forever changing. I understand that. But you have the mentality of thinking that only, as a matter of fact, you are not even original. You're a mutt. You're a mutt who lives colonized. You're not purebred. You're not purebred. Don't tell me that you're an Aboriginal American native. You're not. You're a mutt. Everybody's mixed by now. Everybody. And I see my Native Americans look whiter and whiter each day. Don't hate me because I tell you the truth. But I can tell you this. I think that we are better people today because of what has happened through our horrible history. And at some point, one day, you will have to understand and realize the truth. Borders is what makes countries. And we need to secure those borders because guess what? Not everybody wants to just come in, trade with you, and leave. Many want to come here and take what you have. I want to give you an example of what will happen if we give the land back to the Native Americans, besides casinos. I want you to go to an Indian reservation. Now, before you go in and make any other questions or whatever, I want you to think about this. So go to an Indian reservation, and I want you to look at a few things. One of them, look around and tell me how advanced they are. 2, tell me what kind of defenses they have. And number 3, how have they developed their land? Because they get federal money, so all of our taxes are given free money to many Native Americans. They can also work a job and make more money. See, in my opinion, Native Americans should be richer than us. They should have more money. Think about it. For all of us in the real world, we gotta work we gotta hustle. I choose to do this entertainment and give my opinion, talk about politics and all this other stuff. This is my choice. Granted, it was in agreement with my wife and I, and that's why I do what I do. But in every American household, it is now for most people, both parents got to work. Both parents got to work. Now check this out. Wait, just be patient. Both parents got to work. So what happens if one parent can pay all the bills? The other parent that is working can choose stay home with the kids or keep working and make more money. That way they can accumulate wealth and then they can get a place where they really want to live. Now this mentality is a capitalist mentality. Socialist won't let you do that. Socialists, the more you sacrifice, the more they take from you. And then the communists, which is the government, they will force you to depend on them so that you can stay a slave to the system. Pay attention. You say I can't handle the truth. Pay attention. Now go to a native reservation. They got free money. They got their casinos that's giving them the free money. And then they can go to work. But guess what they do? They don't develop shit. They're not builders. They just nomads. It's fine if you want to go hunt and live a native life. That's fantastic. But guess what? Reality. We have enemies. You're thinking of La La Land. We don't live in La La Land like you do. Stop smoking the peyote. Stop smoking that shit. It's clouding your judgment. Don't do crack. Kids out there, say no to drugs, to hallucinogenics. Say no to drugs. Charlie James, they didn't steal the land, they conquered it, which is a big difference. And every native tribe was trying to conquer the other. The strongest tribes were enslaving the weaker tribes. That's just the law of the land. It's nothing new. You should know this. You should know this. Serenity. Oh, man, you haven't been here for a while. Why are you on my channel again? Let's see. He said, the way you talk about an entire group of people is fucking hilarious to me. All you can do is make sweeping generalizations against other groups, natives, leftists, blacks, you name it. Good laugh. Serenity, this is why I think you're stupid. This is why I think you're stupid. Why do you think that I have to say it this way? Because you don't understand where we are today. You don't understand. You don't know how to use critical thinking. You don't have common sense. And that is your problem. You say, I'm generalizing. Of course I have to generalize. Of course I have to generalize. Why do you think I have to generalize? Because in every single ethnicity, every single culture, every single country, every single tribe, there is good and there is bad people. And the reason why I generalize is because I calculate what we're doing today. And what do I see on the Indian reservations? They get free money from the federal government. They can get a job, and instead, what do? They do drugs. They're drunk. They don't do anything. They don't even pave their roads. They want to live in the Stone Age, that's fine. But if China comes over here, then you're going to bitch about it. They got no missile defense. They got no military. The only reason why Native Americans thrive is because of the white man. Oh, you guys are so racist. You hate that. Oh, man. I only say that sarcastically, obviously. I don't think it's just white men. But I think Americans are the big reason. And when I say American, I mean us. Brown, black, Asian, everybody that is an American citizen, whether you were born here or you were naturalized, that's what I mean America. But a lot of racist people, they keep saying that, the white man is American. So that's the problem right there. That is the problem with your thinking. I said this in my games before when I used to play a lot of games and I'd be chatting with a lot of people and I'd be like, hey, let me ask you guys a question. What do you think? When I say America, what is the first thing that comes to your mind? And the black guys will always tell me white people. Why? Why? Why does white people come to your mind when you hear America? You know why? Oh man, let me refill my coffee here. You're gonna like this one. You're gonna like this answer. Ready? Tell me, right here on the chat, while I get my refill. Tell me, why do you think that when I say America, some people, not all, some people will say white people is what they see? Put it on the chat. Let me know. Knowledge is power, my friends. Racism, yeah. English are many colors, not all fair. Yeah, thank you. That's actually honest. Because we're not united. Good job, Josh. All right, Moorish man on the landscape mode says indoctrination. Could be. That is true. That can be. Because everyone is racist in their own way. Who's ready for my answer? Ah, man. Go take your TDS pills real quick. If you haven't taken your medicine this morning, please go do so, because you're not going to like my answer. There is only one orange clown. Oh, man. Come on. Let's see. I'm going to give you some more time. Junior says he works for ICE. Says, I don't know what the hell that is. Let's see. Bud says double tap. Oh, let's get 100 likes, says Bud Russell. He's feeling the love. I am a child of God. Congratulations, Marvin. I hope that we all are. Let's see. I got 22 gallons at Costco for $100. As a matter of fact, where did I put my receipts? I filled up my tank exactly 1 month ago on the 21st of March. It was at $4.99 a gallon. If I filled up my tank, obviously, the empty is different. America means freedom. Black, you're thinking too much with common sense. I filled it up with $102 and change. Now, I just filled it out yesterday. Okay? Exactly the 21st of March, 21st of April. Okay? And the one thing that I noticed was that it was still $4.99. That's funny because I never look at the price. I just fill up my tank. And I got the receipt and I compared it, right, to my old receipt from a month ago. And the new receipt said $103 and some change. Obviously, I had a little bit less gas, so I can understand that. But this is a whole month. It's still the same price. Now, of course, I want the price to go down, and it will. It will. Here's the one thing, though. I'm going to give you a disclaimer. It's not going to go down that low, because the local government, meaning your mayor, your governor, the city councils, all these people who wants to stay in power, they will do whatever they can to make the economy look bad just because they don't like Trump. And that's one of the things that I tell people. If you hate Trump, you will never be able to have a conversation with anybody, and it will never make sense to you because you're already brainwashed. You already believe into your own little opinion, which is fine, but that's what you choose, okay? Now, let's see if anybody else has put it in there. Yeah, $4.99 is over here. Well, depends on the gas station. $4.99 is here in Washington State. Well, that's not the only time. I filled up my tank previously, but I kept the receipts this one time, and I just compared it for the last 30 days. I fill up my tank once a week. Okay, now I get it. People text different thoughts, views, and you got to weed through it all as you are informing everybody about your perspective on sets. Yes. So there's a, thank you, Glenn. But there is a lot of people that don't understand that. You know what I'm saying? Like people put a comment and they think that I see that and they are the center of attention and I got to make the point. No. This is what I say. If you want to demand my attention, come on. Even if you don't support me. Common courtesy is put a damn super chat on there. You know what I'm saying? Other than that, just wait until I call on you or before when I address your comments. So, my answer is this. You guys ready? I was hoping that you guys would actually be here with me on this thought. But why is it that once I tell you, you will never, ever think about it again? Why is it that when we say America, the United States of America, people automatically think white people, especially minorities? No. Just the bad ones. Just the bad ones. Don't confuse it. Don't confuse it. As I've said, I love my Navajo family. They're fantastic. Do we have a lot of drunks in there? Yes. Do we have a lot of drug addicts? Yes. Do we have a lot of them with the mentality of poor? Yes. But they as a culture, as themselves, is fantastic. I love them. I love them dearly. Here we go. You know why minorities automatically think white when somebody says the United States of America? Blacks, Asians, natives, it don't matter. Anybody that's not white. Well, here is something for you. Here we go. Let me see. How much as the TDS do you have? Look at Serenity. Finally, man. Finally, you do something to get my attention. How much TDS do you have to say local governments are lying to you about the economy being bad? You don't. I agree with that. Instead of looking around at raising cost. You do understand that you just agree with everything that I've been saying on my channel, right? Am I reading this wrong? I know everybody wants to hear the answer, but once I tell you, you cannot unhear it. How much TDS do you have to say local government are lying to you about the economy being bad? Maybe I don't understand the question because it sounds like you agree with me instead of looking around at rising cost. Okay, I'll give you my thought on that here in a second. Oh, sarcasm. Okay, no wonder. So you were agreeing with me, but with sarcasm. I got you. We'll get there. So the reason why minorities, blacks, Hispanics, Asians, or whatever, and I'm just generalizing again, because not everybody does this way, but the reason why they think when they hear America, the United States of America, everybody thinks white. The reason for that is because they either know it or subconsciously know that the white men are the settlers, the builders of this country, the actual root of what the United States stands for, including our religion, our Christian religion. That's why. Nobody thinks of Mexicans of the United States of America. Nobody thinks of migrants of the United States of America. You know why? Because they're not settlers. Migrants are different than people that are settlers. Settlers build civilization. Settlers build countries, cities, states. Migrants, they are just getting what they need. They just work for the money. They offer the labor. They're fantastic. They're phenomenal workers. Absolutely. Did we have a lot of migrants working? Yes. But they didn't build this nation. Do you understand? Once the United States was established, when the settlers came here, even though they migrated, okay? Even though they migrated, they became settlers. And that is what we want. We want people to come to this country to help, to give to this country. Not take. Not take. We're going to continue on this about immigration. I love talking about immigration. But I'm going to address the economy real quick. So listen. Would you agree with me that tariffs is a tax? Anybody, if you believe a tariff is a tax, it's a fee, but it's a tax, put a 1 on the chat. I want to see where you're at. I want to see where you're at. Shiptards. On the landscape mode, Shiptard says, that's his name, guys. I'm not making it up. He says, Mexico built the West Coast. They built Los Angeles. He missed the point. He said, they built Los Angeles, San Diego, San Francisco, San Antonio. I can continue. What you missed the point of, my... See, here's another one. Here's another person that sees white. He doesn't understand what I just said. You know Spaniards are white people, right? Mexicans are colonized by Spaniards. We happen to have been colonized by Brits, by England, by the Englishmen, Irish, many different countries. You missed the point, Shiptard. Guys, again, that's his name. I didn't make that up. That is the point. That native Indians didn't. The best thing they ever built was temples to sacrifice people. And that was on the back of their own slave natives. Oh boy, I'll say. Murish, why you leave the landscape mode? They're gonna block you over here. You know, if you want to be a little bit more free, stay on the landscape mode. If you come to the portrait mode, what you just came back to, number 13, you're going to get blocked. I'm trying to give you a place, a room where you can say some stuff. But you see that, right? I hope that you guys can have common sense. Okay, so we're going to jump down to Mexicans. Mexicans, as the word says, Mexicans, it is a name derived from their nation. He didn't say Aztecs built California, San Francisco. He didn't say the Indians. He said Mexico. Mexicos are colonized by the Spaniards. Natives didn't do shit to survive. Hence my point. Beautiful temples. What do we got? Ruins. Nothing. The whole native civilization destroyed. Now, before you go crazy on the word civilization, civilization is just a sort of like, you can look at it as an organization. Civilization doesn't mean people. I want you to know that. You can be civilized and uncivilized. That's the only thing I can tell you. That's the only thing I can tell you. You can be civilized and uncivilized. So when Trump said that he's going to destroy the whole civilization, that's what that is. If you don't believe me, why don't we look it up? Let's take a look. Let's take a look. Let's see. Civilization versus population. Let's see. You know what? I give you my own version. Let's take a listen. Let's take a read here real quick. Here we go. So civilization is the overarching empire which utilizes population to power infrastructure development and unlock districts. Population represents the number of citizens in a city. You see the difference? So 13 likes to laugh about any information that I give, but he's just too retarded to understand or to retain information. So that is the reason why when we say the United States of America, a lot of people, especially minorities, right, even though they claim that this country was built by immigrants, no, it was built on the backs of immigrants, sure, but it was not built by immigrants. It was built by settlers. All right? Oh, the zinc. I tell you what, I know how negative you are. You are not going to be in this chat. You want to be on the chat, go back to the other side. And you too, nerds, because you're ignorant. I want only people that have brains to come in here and stay on the portrait chat. Listen, I have proven to you that if it wasn't for the colonizers, we would have no colonies. We would have self-destruct, just like the Aztecs, just like the Mayans, just like all the savages that used to kill their own people to sacrifice for their own evil thoughts and doings. They were demonic. But now we're saved. So you have all of these things that if you go and you give the land back to the natives, they're not going to do shit about it. And what's going to happen is that there's going to be another country, which, by the way, we have many enemies. Another country is going to invade us, and they're going to take over. It is that simple. So, with that being said, when I say or hear American, I see all people. I see all kinds of people, different backgrounds, different ethnicities, different religions, respecting everybody, everybody's boundary. The only religion that I am against is because of the harm that they bring to people is Muslims. Islam is not a spiritual religion. It is a government movement. Government political movement is what I'm going to call it. Yeah. James says, which natives can you be more specific? Anybody. Any native. None of the Native Americans can defend the land here in the United States of America or Mexico. But here is the beauty about the United States of America. Now, the reason why I bring up all of this past and all of this other history and this whole common sense about the savages and the civilized and the uncivilized is so that we can come to this point right now. The United States of America does not stand for white people. It stands for the land of many cultures. This is a melting pot of cultures, of ethnicities. And the sooner you learn that, the sooner you accept that, the sooner you will be a free man or a woman. I can have my Spanish cuisine from Honduras, Mexican, and every Latin country is going to have a similar taste. But I'm going to tell you, there is some herbs that I don't like from Mexican food. I just don't. I think Honduras food is better in some areas. In others, Mexican food is better in some areas. But that's just me. Our language, our Spanish, our accents, they change. If I talk to a Mexican from Guadalajara and I talk to a Mexican from Mexico City, they have different accents. They have different accents. So Mexico also has this multiple cultural ethnicity groups in Mexico. There is some French in Mexico. There's some African in Mexico. I've seen Blaxicans. We see everybody's mixed nowadays. And I'm just going to tell you, do not try to get rid of the white people. I want to see some people with blue eyes, blonde hair. I want to see my Latinas with the brown hair, black hair, dark eyes. I want to see my Asian with their slanted eyes. They have, every culture, every ethnicity has something special about them. Why try to annihilate one over the other? That's not how diversity works. People say they want diversity, but they just become something different. You can't be pro-diversity if you're trying to annihilate a certain ethnicity. That makes you a racist. So the United States of America today stands for all Native Americans, every single one of them, good or bad. The United States of America stands for all Hispanics that are now citizens of this country, good and bad. Stands for all the white people in this country that are good and bad. It stands for all Middle Easterns. It stands for all different ethnicities from all over the country, but that's what America stands for. And to live in the past and always throw these hateful, racist comments to say that this land belongs to the natives, that this is stolen land, you misunderstand what this world is about. And because everything has been set in motion to be what it is today, You still have your freedom. And you are only complaining if you are an ungrateful bastard. Are you still with me? Are you still with me? Remember wind talkers? That's right. Wind talkers. Japanese couldn't do shit about it. They didn't speak Navajo. But the Navajo, the ones who chose to be brothers with the white man and everybody else, that's our family. Big shout out to my Navajo Nation in Arizona. My brother Meldon lives down in Arizona. He's from the Navajo tribe, Navajo Nation. And I love my Navajos. I really do. I love my Navajo people. They might not love me, not all of them. They might not all love me, but I love them. And I'm going to tell you, you know, for as many people that I have in here, it's not that many, but if I ever become a servant in office, I will always fight for my Native Americans. Always. I'm not going to sugarcoat shit and say, oh, yeah, this is stolen land. You should get it back. No. But we're going to do the best with what we got. We're going to do the best with what's dealt to us. We can sit here and say, oh, I am mightier than thou, and thee is nothing. Okay? We can sit here and talk that all day. All day. No, Chris, there is a movie about wind talkers. But but the wind talkers is a real thing. It is historical. Don't take away the pride from the Navajo people. They were fantastic. They were key. They were key in our history. But now the United States, the military doesn't support white people. No, we got black soldiers. We got Hispanic soldiers. Our military fights for the whole United States of America. And this is one of the things that people on the other side of the aisle, as they say, don't understand. They want to make Trump look out like a racist, you know, child molester, whatever. By the way, there has been a lot of trolls that come through my channel, and they have left nasty-ass comments. And they have said this: we're going to promote this channel, the Dennis Herrera Show. We're going to promote it to all of the Democrats so that they can block him, so that they can report him for misinformation and harassment. Listen, that's fine. You can do that. And yes, my views, I guess, in a way have suffered because of people like that. But they're just lying to themselves. If you want me to tickle your ears and just tell you that everything you say is right, fantastic. I don't think you need my help. Carlos, how old are you? Because I'm going to tell you something. My history teacher in the early 90s never said stolen land. Never. That is a woke word. So you must be a lot younger than I am. ASW, nobody asked you for your opinion. I don't care about your opinion. I care about constructive criticism. I care about facts. Insults, it doesn't matter. All it does is get you banned. That's all. Insults just get you put in timeout. Scott Byrne, how are you, my friend? Good to see you in here. Jay said, tickle my ears. Oh, man. You know, tickle my ears just means that I tell you something that you want to hear, and then you'll be happy with it. Let's see. Once again, I continue, and I tell you the same thing, that my history teacher is telling me that the United States is stolen land. You can say that because that your history teacher is an idiot. Our teachers today, I am very sorry to say, but they aren't shit. They are not educators. Teachers today, are not the teachers of 3 decades ago. I'll tell you that right now. I'll tell you that right now. My teachers always told me the truth about our history, the nasty parts of it, the unthinkable, the bad things. But they also taught me what we got today. And if you start saying that this is stolen land, none of you sons of bitches will be in this country right now. None of you. None. Zero. If that is true, none of you would be in this country right now. Nobody. All those millions of illegal immigrants protesting on the street pretending to be Americans, none of them would be in this country. None of them. Every single socialist Democrat, none of them would be in this country. None. Zero. And that's a fact. You can take that to the bank. You got me? You can't argue with stupid. You just can't. You have to accept that history is already made. We cannot change history. But we have a gift called the present so that we can make a good future. But if you keep living in the past, you will never move forward. And I don't know why the hell I just felt like Kamala Harris there for a second. But I guess maybe she understands what the socialist Democrats need. They need somebody to talk to them like they're little children. Oh boy. All right. Hey, listen. Can I add it in here? Let me see. I guess I could add it. Let me see. I don't know if this will affect. I want to try to add a new file here. Now, bear with me. I don't know if this is going to be good. I don't know if you're going to be seeing the nasty, raw version of this or what I'm doing right now. But let's see. I'm going to call this land members. I'm going to do some work here real quick. Hold on. Now, I'm going to have to edit the size and all this other stuff, so you guys will see that. But just bear with me. I'm going to try to make it nice for you guys, okay? And let's see. I have this under. Did I put it in here? No. Well, I'll tell you what. I don't want to take too much of your time for this, but let's just do this. Remove that. Let's just do this. I will go live again later this afternoon. Okay. By then I will have it ready. But until I get that ready, I want to go ahead and say thank you to my members. I think that we were clarified. History. No more of this Aboriginal native bullshit. No more of this stolen land argument. That's bullshit. It is conquer land. And as thus, we all have a privilege. We live here. We got to do the best that we can with what we got. You cannot reverse time, but you can definitely make a better future. With that being said, thank you to my members. I appreciate you guys. Hispanic, but I am also American. What does that got to do with Carlos? I don't know. Where the hell are you from, bro? Where the hell? I'm telling you, sometimes, man, my Hispanic people, bro, they're just such a disappointment. Just such a disappointment. Let's see. Come on, Dennis. Let's talk about that white privilege car thing you got going. Oh, man, I have it on my other jacket. I don't have my white. Wait a minute. You mean this white privilege car? Bam! And I'm proud to be an American, where at least I know I'm free. Isn't that fantastic? Absolutely. I love the United States of America. I love the United States of America. You know, people, oh, man. I'm going to tell you something. If you ever hear somebody saying, oh, you don't have a master's degree on that, you can't talk about it. Here's what I think is funny. Okay, so as I learned history in school, and I've done all these things, and I use my own little critical thinking, trying to use some common sense and see how we can correct and fix the problem and acknowledge all the good and the bad, etc. I do all of this, and then I always have people from the other side of the thinking, right? And they always say this. Here we go. Here's a comment right here. You sound uninformed to say American Aborigines done nothing and it was one of our constitutions that the Europeans built from. I swear, guys, and I know we're not supposed to swear, but help me. Help me help you. This guy must be one of the dumbest natives that I have ever met. And maybe he is just that. Maybe he's just a little retarded. But they always come in with that. And they always say, oh, wait a minute. You can't talk about slavery. You ain't black. Oh, wait a minute. Wait a minute. More white people got enslaved by Africans. Till this day, Africans and whites are still enslaved in some countries in Africa. Our Indians were enslaved. So, yes, I can talk about slavery. Oh, well, Dennis, you're not a Native American. Well, I am a Native American. Just not North American, but I'm still from this part of the continent. See, Nathan, what? Go away for what? You don't. How am I going to go away? You're the one coming into my channel. All right, I'll give you guys a chance. Here we go. If you don't like the United States of America, what country do you like? Go there. But first, seek some help. Because if you don't seek help, you're going to go to another country and you're just going to ruin that country as well. You're just going to ruin the country. Stop speaking our language. What is your language, Nathan? Huh? What is your language? Self-deport. No, I can't self-deport. If I self-deport, I'll just end up back on this chair because of my white privilege card. Bam! Never gets old. Oh, I'm sorry. Did I hurt anybody's feelings? I apologize. I don't mean to hurt people's feelings. That is not what we are here for. We want to make sure everybody has the same respect. Well, first of all, you have to earn it. But we want to make sure that everybody can earn their same respect. You come in here and you start making fun of my accent and you don't like the way I speak and get out of our... Nathan, wait a minute. Are you talking to me? I don't know. I'm an American. I don't know what the hell you're smoking. But you know what time it is, guys. I got to tell these guys. When they start talking about my language and accents and shit, it just has to be done.
Once a stronghold of forces loyal to captured dictator Saddam Hussein, the city of Tikrit, here in northern Iraq, is now firmly under the control of American forces. Or is it? These members of the Iraqi resistance movement, still loyal to Saddam Hussein, think otherwise.
The Americans tell lies. Each day our forces grow stronger. Each day we move closer to our goal of driving the infidel... What are they?
Nothing. Carry on.
Driving the infidels from our motherland. We are not afraid to... Are they subtitles? They are, aren't they?
No.
Well, what do I need subtitles for? Can't you understand what I'm saying? I studied English at the bloody American University in Cairo.
Well, obviously I can understand what you're saying.
Oh, you see how they condescend to us with their subtitles.
Oh, maybe it's teletext, for the hearing impaired.
Teletext?
No, a lot of TVs come with teletext nowadays.
Wait, say something again.
My friend has a 80
Hey, how come he doesn't need subtitles?
Well, obviously he's comprehensible.
No, and I'm not!
Look, if you...
I speak perfect English. She sells seashells by the seashore. Peter Piper picked a peckle, pickled peppers. Round the ragged rocks, Oh!
The situation remains as dangerous and volatile as ever here in northern Iraq. While the rebuilding continues...
What? I can't understand you speak English. Where are your subtitles now? Oh, you think you're so good. Look at me. I don't have subtitles.
Kerry Downs, Iraq.
Shut up!
Never gets old. Oh, man, that is funny, dude. I can never get tired of that video. That video is hella funny. It will be forever a classic, and we're going to continue to give them likes. Oh, man. All right. Well, I got some good news and, some not so good news, but I do have a clip here with, I think, what was this from? This was a few hours ago, I guess. Iran fires on ship with no warning. Well, let's take a listen.
This hour, we begin with this alert. President Trump giving the radical Islamic Iran just 3 to 5 more days to come to the table. The White House has confirmed to Fox News the ceasefire extension is limited, not indefinite. Already, we are seeing the extra time being used by Iran's Revolutionary Guard to attack. The IRGC fired on and struck commercial ships in and around the Strait of Hormuz overnight. It seized 2 of those ships early.
Let's be clear. I never claimed to be white, but as a Spaniard descent from my mother's side, I can claim both, Indian and white. What about it?
This morning, I'm Harris Faulkner. You are in the Faulkner Focus. Here's what we know about those attacks, 3 in total. Iran's Navy said it seized 2 container ships in the Strait and now has them off the country's coast. Reports a 3rd cargo ship was also attacked in the waterway, but its path shows it's making its way past where the other 2 vessels were stopped. The attacks came just hours after the announcement from President Trump, quote, "We have been asked to hold our attack on the country of Iran until their leaders can come up with a unified proposal. I have therefore directed our military to continue the blockade and in all other respects remain ready and able, and will therefore extend the ceasefire until their proposal is submitted and discussions are concluded, one way or the other." Lieutenant General Keith Kellogg is on tap for us today on what the president's next move should be.
Look, you break the impasse by just breaking off negotiations. We're done with these guys. We're finished. And you take a really harder line. You create problems for them. They're a theocratic government. They're led by the supreme leader. You've got the IRGC out there, which is actually distributed because of their Mosaic defensive plan out there. We really don't know who's in charge. So we're just going to say we're in charge and this is what we're going to do. And if that means taking Kharg Island or the islands in the Strait, so be it.
A warrior's battlefield plan. You heard it laid out there. Colonel Mike Jernigan is coming up with me in focus. Let's begin with Chief National Security Correspondent Jennifer Griffin in Washington, D.C. Jennifer.
Harris, Iran never agreed to an extension of the ceasefire, and the IRGC Navy continues to attack commercial shipping in the Strait of Hormuz. Since President Trump announced the extended ceasefire, 3 commercial ships, as you mentioned, have come under attack from Iran. Early this morning, an Iranian Revolutionary Guard Corps gunboat fired at the Liberian-flagged Greek-owned Epaminondas container ship 15 miles northeast of Oman. Iran's Navy fired upon the vessel with no warning, according to the British Royal Navy, causing, quote, heavy damage to the bridge. All crew were reported safe. 3 hours later, the UK Maritime Trade Operations Centre, or UKMTO, reported a second incident, this time 8 nautical miles west of Iran, where the Euphoria, a Panama-flagged container vessel, was attacked just off Iran's coast. Iran says it is now stranded in Iranian waters. And the MSC Francesca, a box ship owned by Geneva-based Mediterranean shipping company, came under attack while waiting to sail into the Gulf of Oman and was escorted into Iranian waters. The U.S. blockade continues. The U.S. Navy has turned back 28 vessels, most of them oil tankers, either sailing to or from Iranian ports. But more than 34 Iran-linked oil tankers and gas carriers have made their way through the strait despite the U.S. blockade line in the Gulf of Oman. That, according to Bloomberg. In a House Armed Services Subcommittee hearing last week, the director of the Defense Intelligence Agency warned of Iran's remaining capabilities.
Despite significant degradation of Iranian military capabilities through coalition strikes during Operation Epic Fury, Tehran retains thousands of missiles and one-way attack UAVs capable of threatening U.S. and partner forces throughout the region.
A new analysis by the Center for Strategic and International Studies warns that during 7 weeks of war against Iran, the U.S. military has depleted 45% of its precision strike missiles and half of its inventory of THAAD and Patriot missiles needed to intercept ballistic missiles. And right now, military planners from over 30 countries will hold 2-day talks in London, UK, starting April 22nd. President Trump's 3 to 5 day ceasefire deadline coincides with the arrival in the region of a third aircraft carrier strike group, the USS Bush, in the coming days. Harris.
You know what? Just to pause there, because you reported and reminded everybody that Iran never actually agreed to the ceasefire. So that's interesting because they accused the United States blockade in the Strait of Hormuz of being a violation of the ceasefire. So, I mean, so they never agreed to it, but they expect it to be honored. Just a quick word from you on that.
Well, the real question, Harris, is who is negotiating on behalf of Iran? Who is in charge there? And we really still are not clear at that this point. The IRGC and the IRGC Navy does one thing, and their Speaker of Parliament says another thing to Pakistan. So it's very difficult to know what is actually happening and what is happening with the leadership of Iran right now.
Jennifer Griffin, thank you. In focus now, Colonel Mike Jernigan, former Iraqi invasion commander, so he can teach us a thing or two. During his 30 years as a Marine, he served as lead strategist for U.S. Pacific Command. Sir, it's great to have you on board today. Look, what Jennifer just described, and not knowing really who's in charge, and Iran saying, oh, we didn't agree to a ceasefire, but they want to hold the U.S. to it. That's actually, I think, strategically not a bad thing. I mean, they are not being run by the Ayatollah anymore. So what are we dealing with?
Yeah, and before I come to that, I want to park on one of Jennifer's points that you were just talking about. Not only are the Iranians didn't agree to the ceasefire, but your viewers will remember that the blockade didn't happen until after the ceasefire was declared. So the blockade is not a condition of the ceasefire, making your point exactly that you and Jennifer were just talking about. Coming to your point about the strategic implications of Iran, I think what we're seeing is a grasping of straws. Taking these two ships is piracy. That is the legal definition of what they have just done, is piracy of taking ships and then bringing them ashore. So there's going to be other people that unpack that better than I do. But that's an interesting thing that what the IRGC has just happened and done. The other thing that Iran is doing is they're trying to re-influence their bandit techniques from the Robin Hood stories of, hey, we're just going to come in here, make you pay a tax, and then we're going to steal what we want. And that's what they've been doing for now these 7 weeks. But previously before that, I was just talking to teammates this morning. Saudi Arabia has defended more than 1,000 drones. Bahrain, which is only the size of 3 times of Washington, D.C., has defended against 500 drones and 200 missile attacks. So why are the Iranians attacking Bahrain, which is the Las Vegas of the Islamic world, and also Saudi Arabia, which is the center of the Islamic world?
I mean, I'm writing down what you just said. That's war right there. I mean, what maybe people didn't understand was just how big this country is, 93 million people. I mean, it's the size of more than a couple of Californias, and it's it's pure landscape. But they clearly have been building up to something for quite some time. So why wouldn't we think now is the moment to strike before they get a nuke?
Exactly right. And as General Kellogg was explaining earlier, they have a mosaic defense. They have commanders spread out all over their country with mobile missile launchers and mobile drone launching facilities. And they're busily attacking people while talking out of the other side of their mouths. Oh, no, there's a ceasefire and you're violating it. And actually, the United States hasn't fired during their declared ceasefire. Amazing. Whereas the IRGC has now shot at 4 ships, taken 2 ships, and, in the remaining 3 days after the ceasefire started, continued to launch hundreds of missiles and drones.
Well, the only time they did fire was to take out that engine room for that Iranian ship or flagship who thought it could just break the blockade. But they had 6 hours of warning before that happened. I want to get to this. The administration is taking a multi-pronged approach now against Iran's radical Islamic regime. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent posted yesterday, the regime must be held accountable for its extortion of global energy markets and indiscriminate targeting of civilians with missiles and drones. Under President Trump's leadership, as part of the economic fury, we will continue to follow the money and target the Iranian regime's recklessness and those who enable it. The following the money strategy includes new sanctions on 14 entities for helping Iran obtain weapons. We're going to scroll them here and get your thoughts on this as we do that.
This is great. I love seeing these people called out in public. They have been supporting the Iranian regime counter to U.S. regulations and sanctions, and they've been thinking they're getting away with it. And this is like, the America's Most Wanted. We put their lists up and call us when you see this arms dealer. And I believe that all those people, in addition to getting sanctions, which they are really concerned about, is now their name is displayed publicly. And are the SEALs going to show up one night?
That's a great question. Look, before I let you go, just real quickly, and we were all talking about it yesterday, what new cards on the battlefield could Iran be threatening that it would have? Would they use them? That sort of thing. What does your expertise and experience tell you about that?
My expertise tells me that you never underestimate an enemy, never assume away a capability. So with those two kind of tenets, I would tell you that they're going to try to continue to run out the clock. And make this so economically costly that the United States decides to quit, like the British did in 1789 and decided, you guys can have your own country. That was great for us, but we made it too expensive for the British to continue. So I suspect that the Iranians are going to continue to do piracy attacks and continue to put stress and allow the insurers of the world to close the strait for them. And so that's what I think. And then pretty soon, I think you're going to see them starting to strike their neighbors in the Gulf again.
Wow. Colonel Jernigan, thank you for being in focus. Always great to have you. Be sure to like and subscribe for all the
Herrera show,
Fox News latest
with Fox. Oh man, it's so funny. People come in here and you guys make yourselves look bad. Why do you do that? I don't understand. You come in here and you act like you have tried to make dialogue with me here before, but you haven't done that. You have always come in here just to try to own me. And then I got to bring out my little spoon and just start cooking you. I don't want to do that. I want to have a conversation. But everything that I say, you disagree with. So my point is, why would you want to debate me? It's like you already disagree. You won. Congratulations. Now move along. We want to make sure that we gather Americans who want to put America first. I want to see people that support the United States of America, people that support our military, not guys like this one. Just okay. I don't want libtards to come into my channel just to troll and talk shit. I want you guys to give me some constructive criticism. Give me some good points. Like 13 Murish, he is so caught up on his whole righteous movement that Aboriginal Indians are the only people that should be in this country. The guy's retarded. And that's just the only thing I can think about. Penguin. So So why are you here, Penguin? I don't understand. Why are you here? Then why do you ridicule half of the Americans in this country? I don't know, Zinc Roofer. Why do you? Why do you do that? Elizabeth says, you don't act like it. You are more like a Trump than America. Okay, number one here, let me tell you something. Is Trump an American citizen? Then shut the hell up. Yes, he is. And I will continue to support him because even as I tell you the truth, the fact that you can't see the truth because you hate Trump, and I support the POTUS, 45-47, you can't have a conversation. I play a video clip, and all I see is you people putting negative ass comments. You don't pay attention. I don't like racist people on my channel. Sorry, buddy. Go change that symbol. Do you understand what I'm saying? If you want to act like a retard, then I'm going to treat you like one. There's the point, Zinc Roofer. There is approximately 18,000 people that are subscribed to my channels. They agree with me. That's why they subscribe. So no, you're not just ridiculing me. As a matter of fact, you don't ridicule me at all. Because I know that you're retarded. And I give you a benefit of doubt. You insult your father's legacy by being a traitor to this nation. Not once have you been supportive of our military. Not once have you rooted for the United States of America. Not once have you said we did a great job with securing the border. Not once have you said we need to get rid of all illegal immigrants out of this country. Not once have you agreed with me with keeping men out of women's sports. No man in women's locker rooms. Not once. You have been rooting against the whole United States of America. Not just me. Not just my lovely, awesome POTUS. But everybody. So you're a hypocrite by even saying that. Faith Walker in the house. How are you, my friend? Listen, I am not going to be like a crazy Muslim. The Bible tells us how things will be today. And I'm not here to give you any prophecies. I'm not here to prove anything to you. If you don't believe, you don't believe. If you want to do evil, because that's where you belong. But if you want to do good and you want to be righteous, then you would actually respond to the truth. Only those who are chosen by God can see the truth. And now you're nothing, the Zinc Roofer. And now you're nothing. You're nothing but a gruntled guy that once may have been someone good. But you're just grumpy all the time. You hate our nation. You haven't given me one positive comment about our nation. Not one. And everybody is my witness. Not one. Why do you think we have military? Why do you think we have an army? Why do you think that we have an Air Force, Navy, Marines, etc.? Do you think that we just have people serving in the military so they can look cute in their uniforms? No. We have a military to stand up when called to serve this country. That's why we have military. It's not for you to be a pussy. We don't need pussies. We need real men and real women in our armed forces. And thankfully, most of the Americans, and that doesn't mean white people, that means all of us. Most of Americans stand for America. And we know See, as a socialist Democrat, you talk like the leftists that hate Trump. And that's why you'll never understand where I stand for. That's why you will never, ever, 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 ever represent the American people. You are a traitor, just like the socialist Democrats. You're traitors. Do you understand? You turn your back on your country because your morals tell you that we're doing something wrong in a foreign land, but at the same time, you defend those people who are not your people. You defend other countries that is not your country. Who do you stand with? Where does your loyalty lie? Are you American or not? Why are you cheering for Iran's regime? You're not cheering for the good Iranian people. You're cheering for the Iranian regime. You're cheering for terrorists. And even though we destroyed their military, their navy, everything, you give them credit having a navy fleet because of small boats. Pick a side. Do you love the United States? Stand with us. Stop being negative with the military. You confuse. You're confusing your moral ground. See, you have served in the military. You are now a veteran, but you have become a pussy. We just can't have that. We need real men and real women in the military. Dimitri, sic semper tyrannis. Okay, bro. Listen, Jason Beatrice. Man, I love you, bro. It is so great to know that Americans like you have raised a good, real man. A real man that loves this country, that knows what it really means to serve. That's phenomenal to me. That's the American spirit. That's the American spirit that our enemies want you to overlook and forget about. You know everything that I have said about history? Everything that I have said about history. These people are so full of hate towards Trump and white people. They're so racist. They don't listen. You don't have to serve in the military. This is why we're so grateful that there are those who make the sacrifice for us. Don't take the honor away from them. Don't take their courage away from them. Honor them. Bless them. Say it. You got to say it to them. You guys are fantastic. You're phenomenal. We love you. We support you. You're doing things that we can't. In every civilization, in every village, in every city, in every county, state, whatever you want to call it, in every territory, there is gatherers and hunters. There is farmers. There is leaders. And there's warriors. Don't get it twisted. You don't need to be a warrior to be a great leader. You got that twisted. The biggest example in here, I can tell you, the zinc roofer. He is a veteran, but has become a pussy. He is one of the men that will never defend the United States of America. He has been negative about everything, our military, our force. Listen, whether you believe or agree with what we're doing with our military, it is for us to be better. The moment that you cheer for the enemy, you become a traitor to this nation. And I'm going to tell you, there's going to be millions of illegal immigrants talking shit to us every single day. Millions of them. On top of that, you have more Muslims like Jassim Midi. Right? He don't like it because he knows I'm telling the truth. That's how it works. Telling the truth is like pouring holy water on demons. I'm 100% right. I respect real veterans. You know who the real veterans are? The ones that are veterans that have served, but they always respect our current active military. The zinc roofer doesn't. And if you don't respect our military and you think that they're just little pussies, then you, my friend, are not a veteran with honor to me. And I bet you most of you guys that call yourself veterans that now turn your back on this country, all of you pussies are probably dishonorably discharged. That's what I think. That's what I think. If you have a mental problem, I excuse you. Veterans like Robert, I respect. Like Man, like Jason, Marty and Beatrice. All of the veterans that have served in the military and now have their sons serving in the military, those are the people. Wonder Bread. Let me take your donkey ass. I was hella fit when I tried out. They told me I couldn't serve. But it doesn't matter if I serve or not. That is irrelevant. You know how I got a bunch of racist Hispanics that don't like Trump? Well, I'm Hispanic. And Latinos for Trump, baby. You know how there's some black people that don't like white people? Well, black people for Trump, baby. Blacks for Trump. You know how we have the LGBTQ that don't like us? Well, I say, fuck them. I don't care. We have gays for Trump. As I said all along in all my stories and all the history recaps that I give you, there is always good and bad in everything. I don't need dumbass Muslims to come into my chat to try to troll. Go cool off for 30 minutes. I want Americans to be here. Mike, thank you for your service, sir. Watch the difference, Mike. Watch this, Mike. I want you to watch this. So, this is what I think about my veterans with honor. Make sure I got the right mic in here. Respect. Right there. This is what I think about pussy veterans. Like this guy. No respect. You see the difference? Let's go, baby. 2 times, baby. Let's go. Larson, my man. I love it. Casey, you don't know shit about me. And I think you just came in here to troll. You don't know anything. First, get to know me before you put some dumbass comments like these other retards. The draft wouldn't apply to me because I am epileptic. I have seizures. Then shut the hell up. Stay in your lane. Absolutely. It is shit for liars, tyrants, and ignorant people. But to those who know that they have common sense and they use their critical thinking, they know that I tell the truth. Duck, America has not collapsed, my friend. We're still here. As long as we have Americans still fighting for the truth and to defend the United States of America, we will never collapse. You have to understand something, and we take this into accountability. You see, it took the majority of us to vote for Trump. It took the majority of the courageous people to fight the Civil War, to free the slaves. It didn't take everybody. There was a lot of cowards, like you guys on the chat. There was a lot of retards and cowards like you guys. But then there was those truthful, courageous people like us here in this chat that fought for this country. It wasn't pussies like you who has made this country what it is today. See, you get to enjoy the freedom. You didn't do the dirty work. You just get to enjoy your freedom. You know what the difference between me and you is? That I am a migrant and I love this country. And even though I haven't served in the military, I love those who have served in the military with honors. I respect and appreciate the bad history of this country because there was a lot of courageous, good men and women that fought for it. You libtards hate this country so much. It's sad to see. It really is. It is sad to see. I am so grateful that the few who are strong are carrying our country. I really am. Oh, thank you, Sheila. You know what? You are on fire, baby. You are on fire, Sheila. I appreciate that. Oh man, so much love. I'm gonna find some hearts on fire for you. Thank you so much, sis. I appreciate that. You know, it is. I'm so great. I really am. I am very grateful. You know, when I look at those ships on the ocean. Listen, I'm going to tell you this. If I cannot do something, okay? If I cannot do something, I'm going to say I can't do it. But for those who can, I'm going to cheer for them. Now, if other people want to look at me the wrong way and they want to say that I'm a coward, that's fine. That's their own opinion. But what do you want? Do you want a coward who is a traitor to this country, doesn't support our military? Or do you want a coward, according to them, that actually appreciates this country and loves and supports the military because they conserve? Yeah, I think I'd rather the latter. If you want to call me a coward for that, call me a coward. But my family veterans, I'm going to tell you something, man. Do you know why I do this show? Do you truly want to know why I started my own show, my own podcast? When I was brought to this country from my mother, when I was 13 years old, till this day, I don't care what the leftists say. Till this day, I miss my country of birth, Honduras. This is why I always like having my flag here. As soon as I can have the money to buy it, I went and bought it, and I love my country of birth. I really do. And you know, after a year of being here in this country, my mother applied for our green cards, which they were approved automatically since she was already a resident. But you know, you get a green card for 10 years. After 5 years, if you're proving yourself, you know, not to be dependent on the government, no welfare, no criminal record, then you become a citizen after 5 years. I never, or at least I try not to make decisions with emotions. Now, I'm a very passionate person. But I don't like to make decisions on emotions. I like to really calculate. There's stupid decisions that we make all the time because we got to think fast. Hey, Dave, how are you? DiBiagio, how are you? But I want you to know, it took me 2.5 decades before I decided to become an American citizen. And the reason for that is because I had to make a hard decision. I've always wanted to go back to Honduras. I still do. If God allows me, I will. But it's not what I want that I do, but I do what I don't want. That's God's will. That's how that works. So after 2.5 decades, I had to make a very hard decision. Do I just go back to Honduras? Or do I stay here and get involved? And you know what the real American patriots told me? Stay here. We love you. We want you here. You do a lot for people. A lot of libtards that come into my channel to hate, they don't know. I've been involved with feeding thousands of people. I've clothed thousands of people with many others. I have been in many missions in the church. I was a pastor for many years. Why I'm not a pastor? I don't fit the role anymore. If God calls me, I will change, for that will be His will. But I had to make a decision, and my decision was made 100%. Do you love the United States of America? Do you love Honduras? The answer is yes. Can you make a difference here in the United States of America? Can you still raise your children here in America? Yes. Do I have children in Honduras? No. Is my mom in Honduras? No. My father in Honduras? No. Everything that I have in my life was founded here in the United States of America. And the only way that I wouldn't hesitate to just go back to Honduras if I was illegal. But luckily, yes, I am also a clown. I got this white privilege card that says to stay here. Bam! Bam, bam, bam! And as time went by, I became a citizen. I always questioned our government, not so much the president, but our government, our local government, the governor, the mayor, the people that are in charge of making our lives miserable with taxes. And every time I say something, I want to vote. I can't make a difference if I can't vote. So I became an American citizen. Why? So that I can vote. So I gave myself 100%. I'm so grateful, thankful to the United States of America. It was President Donald J. Trump who says, welcome to the American citizenship. And I love it. I'm so grateful. I voted for him twice with such a great honor. Went over there with my passport, my Washington ID. I was ready to get my thumb all inky. Because back in the days, you used to put your thumb. See, nobody can fake this one. You can fake my signature. You can fake my ID, but you cannot fake my thumb. If my thumbprint is not in the system, you don't get to vote. Because that means you're not an American citizen. See, our fingerprints tells us who we are. America first. Was I against Obama when he was striking in the Middle East? No. He's the president. He has to do what he feels is best for our country, win or lose. That's the president. I always been like this. So when I vote for President Trump, why? Why do I vote for Trump? Well, let's take a look. I'm against illegal immigration. So is he. I have been against China taking advantage of us for many decades. So does he. He doesn't want men in women's sports. So do I. I don't believe on mutilating our children. So does he. I believe that we have an age of consent. Well, so does he. He knows that Iran has been attacking us for 47 years. He also knows the atrocities that this regime, the Ayatollah, Hezbollah, all these Houthis, all these other people that join together with terrorism against America and Israel, he knows that they got to be dealt with. And so do I. And so do I. Many countries have been making a hate alliance towards good against Israel. God put the United States of America to be Israel's ally and friend. And that's why they hate us as well. But I want you to look at this. Pay attention to what happens. The Muslims, or the socialist leftist, will tell you that Israel is evil. Israel attacks this country, Israel attacks that country, Israel attacks this country. But what they don't tell you is that they do it from a reaction. For every action, you have a reaction. For any country that attacks Israel, Israel has to attack them. And the only denominator that people just don't see, the only thing and the only one thing that gives Israel victory every time is my God, the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. That's the only reason why they're winning. Now let me let you in a little secret. We have to give billions of dollars to Israel for their defense. We get intel from them. They get intel from us. We have gathered a lot of technology because of Israel. And in turn, we have helped them, and it goes back and forth. It's very nice to have a friendship. It's very nice to have a real friendship. And that's why we have to support Israel. It's not because Israel's the people of God. Besides that, we have been helping each other. If you haven't noticed, if Israel disappears from the Middle East, we are effed up. Because of all these terrorists, the only reason why they don't have 100% power behind them is because Israel keeps kicking their ass. Here's another secret. You should know these secrets already. I'm going to give you one more secret. Right now, while the world, I don't know if I should say it, we have some Muslims that come in here and try to steal our intel. Hey, I'm a nobody. We have been 10 steps ahead of our enemy. And this is why the socialist Democrats and the little mentally ill people in America don't see it. We went and stopped. Here, first of all, secure the border. Boom. Priority number 1. Done. Number 2, stop drugs from coming into this country. Done. 90% done. Nobody acknowledges that on the socialist Democrat side. Number 3, get the dictator out of Venezuela, because that dictator is holding hands with China and Russia. We don't want China to get that help. They were getting very, very cheap oil, almost free from Venezuela. Okay, why the hell did I just feel like Tucker Carlson right there? I apologize, guys. I don't want to give you an image. But here's the thing. We are 10 steps ahead. So we secure the border, we stop the drugs, we get rid of a dictator. Now, Venezuelan people, we're working with them. Before, we weren't able to work with them But now we are. And we don't want to change regime because the leftist people, they said, oh my God, he wants to change regime. Okay, we're not. And now that we don't want to change regime, that they were wrong about it, oh my God, why doesn't he just change the regime? President Trump is such a failure. What a liar. What a taco. By the way, I just got hungry by saying taco. I'm going to have to go get me some tacos after this. So it doesn't matter. Damn if he does, damn if he doesn't. But I will get to the secret. I know I'm keeping you in suspense there, but the secret is this. It's not really a secret, but to the leftards, it is a secret. We got this, pay attention real quick. We have this technology, right? We call it the Golden Dome. Have you heard of that? The Golden Dome. And what that means is we're spending a lot of money creating our defenses. Because if there is a nuclear war, if there is a war, a third world war, it is almost inevitable. It is almost inevitable. But when this happens, what I hope is that this Golden Dome is done, built, and China doesn't like it. China is afraid of that. Because all their threats of throwing nukes at us, we can stop them. That is the whole idea behind it. And that's a little secret, but don't share it with nobody because then they're going to know about it and then they're going to know why Trump is doing what he's doing. Now, with that being said, there is this thing, and I will show you a video here from the Faulkner, whatever her channel, her show is called. The Faulkner Focus, I think is what she called it. You can call me all you want, Ricardo. Don't hate. Don't hate. Ricardo Hinojosa. Hinojosa. Coconut. I'm a brown man with a white soul. Don't hate. Don't be jealous. Here we go. So now we have this thing of, we have a blockade in the, Strait of Hormuz. Why? Anybody? Why do we have a blockade? And by the way, remember, CNN fake news and all these other medias and all these AI videos coming at you saying that the Iranian regime is not making any deals, agreements, or anything with the United States of America. You agree? Yes, of course you agree. But guess what? President Trump says we got a ceasefire, right? But now they say that President Trump broke that ceasefire. Did you hear what I just said? So they said that they are not dealing with the United States of America. They denied it. But now they contradict themselves. Because Trump says there was a ceasefire and they said, no, we haven't made such deal. There is no ceasefire. But then what happens? The blockade's there. And what do they say? Oh, well, yeah, we had a ceasefire, but they destroyed that when they put the blockade. Wait a minute. You just said that you were not dealing with us. You just said that there was no ceasefire. Now you're saying that we broke the ceasefire that doesn't exist? Well, wake up, America. What is the truth? Use your critical thinking a little bit and ask yourself that question. If they say there's no ceasefire, why would they now claim that we broke the ceasefire? It just doesn't make sense. Oh my God, I wish that it makes sense. But anyway, the reason why we do have a blockade there is because we don't want China or anybody to keep giving them weapons and money. Faith Walker says, I'm just shooting from the hip, but he's probably kept 70 to 80% of his promises. That's 1,000,000 times better than his predecessors, I think is what he's trying to say. It's all about race with the libtard. Always. Virtue signaling. That's right, Coyote. They always do the same thing. It doesn't matter if we tell the truth or not. It doesn't matter if I burn my little tiny brain cells that I have, the very few that I have, to use my common sense and a little bit of critical thinking about it. They always deny us the truth. They always call us liars. They always call us racist, bigots, fascist. But they are the biggest ones. They are the biggest examples of what they accuse us of. Isn't that crazy? It is unbelievable. But it is the reality that we live in. And, well, as I said, all these pussies that are against us, and I call them that because they're not men, real men, Americans, would actually stand up for the United States of America. And they would have been defending our enemies. Whether somebody tells you that what we're doing is right or wrong is irrelevant. Your job is to support the United States of America 100%. Stop biting into this leftist narrative. Nathan, you're a damn illegal immigrant. Shut the hell up. We know the truth. I'm talking to my American family here. I think he missed my white privilege card. Bam! Whoo! There it is again, man. Never gets old. And we have this problem where Americans and you know, they're being influenced. I'm sorry, guys. There's a lot of naive Americans out there, a lot of gullible people. They are being influenced by illegal immigrants. It's crazy. It's crazy, but they are. They are being influenced by illegal immigrants that don't give a shit about American rights. Listen, I live in Seattle, Washington, and the illegal immigrants, they literally go outside of the building where the governor, where the mayor, and the police is at with a sign saying, I am illegal, undocumented, so what? That's all I got to say. That's all I got to tell you right there. Not all black people, just the ghetto black people. There is a lot of black men out there that are more than just, you know, criminals. You know, as a Hispanic, many times I've heard that I'm a car thief. I'm a drug dealer. I'm a gangbanger. I don't blame people for saying that. I'm not, but I don't blame people for saying that. Because evil makes a louder noise than good. See, even in the news outlets, the legacy media knows that if they put out something outrageous, like a lie, they will have more views, more clicks, and they will make more revenue, more money. What do people that go out there and have mediocre entertainment, what do? Thumbnails. They exaggerate on the thumbnail. They have millions of people and they just tanks running them over and this and that. And then you watch the video and you're like, what the hell? Where's the tank? Where's the millions of people? Trump gets destroyed. Nothing. Republicans are, no, nothing. It's just crazy. They don't care about the truth. The truth doesn't make them money. So they have to lie to you. They have to lie to us. And I'm telling you, here, I'm going to give you one example right now. I'm going to tell you, I'm not going to play the whole clip, but I want you to look at this. I'm going to give you one example. All right, give me a second here, Laura. I'm going to give you one example, and if you have been watching my channel, if you have been watching my podcast for a while now, I have told you this. Democrats run as Republicans, but they lie about it. They lie and say, I'm running as a Republican. Now, there was one that actually slipped and said it. She didn't care. They run as Republicans, and this is how we see the rhinos. They run as Republicans so that they can take more seats, pretending that Republicans are in charge of Congress and the Senate, but they're not. See, that's a big deceit. It is a big lie. No, Republicans don't own the Congress or the Senate. It is a lie. There's too many rhinos. Too many rhinos in the Republican Party. Or as I call pussies. They have no balls. No real man. Here's the thing. They can change my mind by changing their mentality. Start fighting for the American people. I want to prove it to you. Democrats lie through their teeth. Let's clarify. Socialist Democrats lie through their teeth. They tell you they're running for Republicans, but they are Democrats, socialists. They tell you that they're going to do this for you. In Washington State, they say we're going to have $100 million of the budget and we're going to get more police. They lied about that. They got rid of police. Big pay cut. Defunded the police. They lied to us. I'm going to give you the most recent lie. There is this hyena that lied to everybody and said, we're not going to redistrict Virginia. Well, check it out.
We're awaiting results in Virginia on a measure that could determine who gets control of Congress. Now, the question,
by the way, has already happened.
On the ballot, in part, should the Constitution of Virginia be amended to allow the General Assembly to temporarily adopt new congressional districts, get this, to restore fairness in the upcoming elections? You can't make this up. Now, who doesn't want fair elections? Gotta vote yes. Well, it's a complete power grab. If the measure passes, Virginia, of course, will be, Democrats will be the ones in charge of changing the districts back to the way it was. That could result in a 10-to-1 advantage for them, up from their current 6-to-5. And tonight we're digging into how this vote could measure the mood of the country. Abigail Spanberger, the new governor, has plummeting poll numbers, but Virginia is also a big military state, and we have to ask how the war, gas prices, might be a factor tonight as well. So here to restore fairness on the Ingram angle, Mary Catherine Ham, Outkick columnist, and Jason Chaffetz, former Utah congressman, both Fox News contributors. All right, Mary Catherine, you got to hand it to the Democrats, right? This ballot initiative is sneaky, it's sleazy, and
see, I never lie. I never lie.
And the Democrats win heads, tails, they win here.
Yeah,
ultimately.
It's audacious. It is neither fair nor temporary. I know that won't surprise you. This is actually what they did was they got together and they did a snap election for a constitutional amendment.
How about we gerrymander to have 50-50? How about we stop gerrymandering and just allow representatives to represent everybody instead of just one party? How about we stop gerrymandering and we just allow the people to vote? And let that take the control of the state. But let the people do that. You can't just have 10 Democrats and 1 Republican. What the hell is that about? Where is equality? Where is the fairness? Where is the justice? Texas should be the same way. Every state should be 50-50. California is up. What are you trying to do if we don't do our part? What are you trying to do? See, this is what I mean. Pussies destroy our country. If it wasn't for the very few real men and women, the courageous people, the American people, those who really love America, this country would have been destroyed already. Biden, he just began the destruction. Kamala would have ended it. She would have finished destroying this country. For Pete's sakes, just in a couple of years during the Biden administration, we had millions of illegal immigrants, hundreds of thousands of terrorists come into our country. We are up the yin-yang with terrorist Muslims. And we can't get rid of them because people are afraid of hearing, oh, you're racist. As the Poland president said, I don't give a shit if they call me a racist. No more illegal migrants into this country. None. We will take none of them. No terrorist attacks. Everybody respects the culture. Beautiful Poland women. Beautiful, tasty food. They're free. And we want to be controlled by the evil people. And the gullible Americans, oh, but God's religion, the Bible says, bring your burden. Welcome the migrants in the world. Shut the hell up. Read the whole Bible. Interpret it the right way. Interpret it the right way. And Oshawa, you a Muslim. I don't give a shit about your opinion. You follow a pedophile religion. It is a satanical religion. You pretend to be good spiritual people with your fake ass 5 prayers a day, praying to Satan. That's the Allah God that you have. And what do you do after 5 days, 5 times a day prayer? You hate on the white people. You hate on the Christian people. What are you praying for? I know what you're praying for. You're praying for them to get killed. You're praying for them to die. See, there's a lot of leftist, ignorant, naive American people. When they see you praying, oh my God, look at them. They're so dedicated. They're trying to kill you. They are dedicated. They are submissive to their cause. They are trying to take your throats off. That's what they pray for. And the naive Americans, oh my God, it's such a beautiful religion. Look how spirit. Shut the hell up. Go find out what it means. Why is it? Why is it? Bro, we condemn that shit. Don't bring that up, Raj. You're probably new to my channel. I get it. We condemn that. But the people that don't understand the language, they just sit there, oh my gosh, they're so spiritual. This is a religion of peace. Let me tell you something that I learned when I first came to this country. There was this Vietnamese guy. A Vietnamese guy. I'm going to uncensor this word just for this example. He called me in his own language, and I only know because his friend translated for me. He said, with a smile, like this, fuck you, little bitch. And I was like, hey, give him a high five. And then his friend translated to me. And when I heard it, I was like, wait a minute, what? That's what he said? With a freaking smile, I learned that day. I will not support something that I don't understand. I know the prayers the Muslims make. See, there's a lot of Muslims out there that are ignorant. They don't know about the bad side of the Muslims. This Khamenei, this gay guy, I'm honestly surprised. I really am. Maybe they are changing their doctrine. They could be. They could be changing their doctrine. Okay, I get it. They could be. You know why? Because the Pope is changing the Christian doctrine as well. There is cardinals out there changing the Christian doctrine. This is why I always say I do not follow men's doctrines. I follow the Bible. You want to correct me? Use the Bible. And let's go ahead and talk about it. If a Christian is doing something wrong, we call it out. And we condemn those actions. If a Muslim is doing something wrong, which we know they are, they never call it out. They never condemn it. See, there is the Muslims of Mecca. Fantastic. It is a spiritual tradition. This is where Muhammad was a good person. That's just a spiritual man praying 5 times a day. Allah, Allah, oh, whatever. Fantastic. That's a great spiritual man. And then here comes Medina. Medina is a whole different story. See, the spiritual Mecca Muslims, they were deporting Jews from the land. The Muslims, they were expelling the Jews from their land. But then Medina happened, and Muhammad started gaining power. Got some military now. So now, instead of kicking them out of their land, they kill over 700,000 Jews. Okay, it might be 700. But that's how it works. And that's how you know that is not a spiritual religion. What such a spiritual religion will tell you that I, at the age of 50 years old, can marry your daughter at 7 years old? Somebody tell me, please. Listen, how many of you have a 7-year-old daughter, but she has to be really cute for me? This is what the trolls grab when they come to my show, and then they want to tell all of their Democrat people. It's crazy how they say Democrats. They don't just say people. No, they have a specific people. Democrats. Tell me, how many of you guys on the chat, you have a 7-year-old daughter that looks very cute? Or maybe a granddaughter that's 7 years old and looks very cute. Well, I am going to be a Muslim, and I'm going to marry your 7-year-old. Imagine that. How does that make you feel? Let's be honest. Be honest with me. We got 287 people watching. Be honest. When I tell you I'm going to be 50 years old in a couple of months, how does it make you feel that I want to marry your 7-year-old daughter? But don't worry, I'm not going to consummate the marriage until she's 9. Mike, 100%. Nalia, we'll talk about the Pope. We'll talk about it. Oh, well, you're safe. You're safe. So come on. How does it feel? How does it really make you feel? Sheila, absolutely. Hell no. I want these guys on the left. Tell me, how does it make you feel that I want to marry your 7-year-old daughter, but I will be a good man and wait 2 years before I sleep with her? How does that make you feel, honestly? Let me read a couple of you guys here. Let's see. Martha says, let's see, I don't go by, Güero says, I don't go by anyone's law, buddy, but my own. Excuse me. I'll be in prison for murder. Absolutely, bro. I'm with you. Martha says, American is the youngest country on the face of the planet and think that can tell other civilizations what's wrong with them. Stay in your lane before judging others. Martha, answer to me. Do you have a granddaughter or a daughter that's 7 years old that I can marry? Answer the damn question. The nothing says Dems are like pigeons playing checkers, knock all the pieces off the board, then struts around as if they won the game. That's funny, bro. That's fun. Okay, I got to give you this one. I got to give you this. I got to give it. That was fantastic. Trek says the Christian religion do the same. Do your research. Go ahead. Show me where. Let's see. What else do we got? Spanish Inquisitors. Daryl, stop avoiding the question. How do you feel? Well, Easton Mayas. I like that. I don't know if that's just the last name, but I am a Mayan descent. Tell me. I just want you to go ahead. It can't be just 320 people of people that agree with me. Here, Chris from the Epstein Files. How would you feel? Just don't ask me a question. Just answer Honestly, how would you feel if I marry your 7-year-old daughter or granddaughter? Trump would marry your daughter if she was 18. That is a difference, and I'm okay with that. Can you imagine that? She wouldn't have to put up with him for that long, to be honest. And she can inherit billions of dollars. Why not? Let her make her own decision. But come on, tell me. Tell me. Just answer. You see how you can't answer the question because you know it's wrong. You know it's disgusting. You know it's nasty. But this is what Muslims believe. Davi, that is a teenager. That is after menstruating. And yes, it is a mid-teens. It could be 14, 15, or 16. Nothing in the Bible says 13. That's not what it says. Mike Moore, not a 7, bro. It's a big thing. See, Muslims, they want to marry women prepubescence. You're not going to answer it. That's right, Jason. They're not going to answer it because they know how horrible it is. Hey, Teddy, how are you, brother? I'm trying to get you engaged because people call me a liar and they call me all these things, but here I am. I'm asking you a question. Would you allow me to marry your 7-year-old daughter? David, and all of you, listen. I'm going to say that everybody here on my chat, you see how like 70 people dropped off? Every American knows, okay, that we live in times where age does matter to a certain point. We're dropping it down to 18 years old. Okay, if you're 14, 15, let's be honest. There is some states here in this country that allow 16, 17, and 18 to be age for consent. That doesn't mean that you can just go marry a 16 and a 17-year-old. No, because the parents still have to give you authorization to marry those teenagers. But the point is, my mother was 15 years old and my father was 27 when they married back in who knows when, early 1900s. You know, and that doesn't mean that it's okay today. But if it was to happen, if the parents are okay with a 16 or 17-year-old marrying a 30-year-old, so what? If that's what the law is, that's what the law is. But I think that going prepubescence is very big difference. It is a very, very big difference. Blue state. I'm in the blue state. I don't know what you're asking, but I think you're asking where I am. It's the blue state. So I do not agree. He's always a donkey, bro. Thank you, Jason. He's always a donkey. There's no way to excuse him anymore. But here's the thing. My point is that everything I tell you is the truth. The Muslim religion, that's what they're about. Yeah, talk about, there you go. Thank you, the hammer. Yeah, talk about that. Mary was not 12. The Bible does not say she was 12. Stop lying. The Bible does not say the age. The age for women to marry is mid-teens. Okay? 14, I will agree. I will agree with you. It's still disgusting to us, but that's the way it was back in the day. And now the difference between us, good job, Daniel. The difference between us, Christians, and Muslims is we condemn those who have committed atrocities. They don't. They can't, for they will be seen as infidels. You see the difference? All right. Let's finish this clip here from Virginia, because you said I was lying, and there it is.
You know, the bar is supposed to be really high for a constitutional amendment because it's important. You're supposed to let everybody know exactly what you're doing. They're like, no, we'll get to that later. We'll draw the maps at some point. We'll let you know what they are. And they do this, you know, sort of on the cheap election, and then people have to go on a surprise in the midterm year.
Votes are coming in right here. It's so far 46 to 53 no, and that would be great news, but you know what happens. Well, the votes come in late, and they're always from the most liberal. They're from Richmond. They're from Northern Virginia. They're from, you know, outside towards Charlottesville. That's, to me, that's what always happens.
And by the way, this move that Spanberger specifically said on the trail she would not do, and she called it a detriment to our democracy, subverts the vote of 2/3 of Virginians in 2020 to say we'd like a bipartisan committee. They've had their say. We've all said what we would like, and Democrats are like, nah, we're going to do something different.
Jason, you get the sense here that if Democrats were really confident about their ideas, confident about their vision for the future, they wouldn't need to do this stuff. But man, they're scrambling.
Yeah, temporarily restoring fairness. That makes a lot of sense to do that all at once. But remember, their bigger game is they want to expand the Supreme Court. They want to fundamentally change everything up and down the ballot in what we're doing and that balance of power. It is a total power grab. They want to do much more with this. If they can get away with this and trying to overuse the word fairness, look out, because this country is in a world of hurt if the Democrats can get away with something like this.
Mary Catherine, and meanwhile, we have a lot of pressure here at home the president is under because of the numbers on this Iran war. They're not good. The Republicans are still with him for the most part, but the American people are just, they're seeing costs. I mean, I know they don't like the mullahs. They don't want Iran to have nukes. But I think the costs of everything is obviously up. How important is this going to be as we move toward the midterms?
I mean, that is first and foremost in people's minds. And I do think that the president could be more explicit about explaining, okay, this is why this is so important for the world order for us to do what we're doing in Iran, right? But you have to make that argument to people. And they will also benefit, obviously, if gas prices tick down, which they could do quite quickly if things change throughout the world economy due to various moves.
Another issue, Jason, Axios is reporting that President Trump has been telling people that Florida Governor DeSantis is, quote, begging for a White House job. I don't know who's talking to Axios. There's like leaks in this administration, which really bugs me, actually, about this particular thing. DeSantis answered that he's 100% not interested in the AG job, worst job in Washington, but he would be interested in War Secretary or Supreme Court, which apparently they say would be his dream job. The source noted the governor's relationship with Justice Thomas. I can tell you this, he's not retiring, so give that idea. Jason, I don't need to read the whole thing. Do you see this as a viable option as being, for DeSantis, he's one of the smarter guys out there, credible record in Florida, to be tapped for some future position?
Perhaps. Look, he's one of the most popular and successful governors that we have in this country. And you've seen pictures of Ron DeSantis, Governor DeSantis, with Donald Trump there at the golf club most recently. There's a future for Ron DeSantis. What it is, I don't believe that Axios report. I'm with you, Laura, on that. I think that's kind of absurd.
CT's not going anywhere.
There is a big, bright future for him.
Yeah, I mean,
he's not going anywhere. And I believe him. If he says he doesn't want to be the Attorney General, then he probably doesn't want to be the Attorney General. So,
it's not a fun job. Sorry, Scott Todd, but it's not a fun job.
So I find it very interesting that you guys can comment on this little clip here and talk about MAGA tears, but you didn't answer my question when I asked you about the age. So some of the things that we have looked into, okay? So the girls under Muslim religion, under their Sharia law, girls were considered marriageable upon reaching puberty, preferably. No, I'm sorry. This is for Christians. Let me go back up more, I think. Where did I put it at? Where did I put it at? Let me see. I'm missing my comments here. Dang it, I can't look at my thing here. Okay. So for the Christians, girls were considered marriageable upon reaching puberty, frequently around age 12 to 14. Now, this is not really Christian. This is more like the Jews, and they believe that boys turn into men at the age of 13 or 14. Now, watch the difference. In their times, the way that they can determine that a person could take the responsibilities of marriage was once they hit puberty. For women, once they had their period, that means that they can get pregnant and multiply. Okay? For boys, it's 13 to 14 when they can actually get a girl pregnant. Now, the age is very informational here to look at. So 12 to 14 years old for a girl. And I think that according to the religion and the culture, this might be different on the mentality of what women were about. But for men, the age was between 18 and 20 years old. right? Or as soon as they were able to support a family. So you're looking at the age on the time where people are still trying to fill the earth. They're trying to multiply and making their tribes, become bigger. They waited for a sign to say, okay, a girl or a woman is ready to be married. And that's the sign. You women have their periods, and boys, we hit our puberty, but yet we still have to get a little bit older. And that is part of the culture. That's fine. And I think that we're not going to go by that today, at least not here in our country. Okay? But watch the difference. Some traditional interpretations often citing the example of Aisha, who some sources say was married at 6 or 9. Now, what I believe is that she was married at 7 and consummated their marriage at 9. Okay? Some women do get their periods earlier, and maybe that's probably what it was. I don't know. But to be married at that young age, you're depriving this young girl from making her own decisions as she gets older. And so what I have noticed today is, the Mohammed, the pedophile Mohammed prophet that they have, this fake prophet, he was in his mid-50s when he married this little girl. And that's crazy. It should be troublesome to you. Now watch this. The leftist people, the leftist socialist Democrats today, the mentally ill people, they think that it's okay to mutilate children. They think that it's okay to mutilate children. I mean, these mentally handicapped people, these mentally retarded, stupid-ass people are coming out saying that your 7-month-old boy believes to be a girl. Are you kidding me? Who believes this nonsense? So, but I want you to understand the difference. Why is that? Why am I like my president? I should hope so. We have the same mentality. We think the same way. Got the same policies. He protects women. So do I. All the false accusations that have been made against President Trump with no evidence, no proof. That's just what you are. Fake-ass people. Fake-ass people who are hurting our children. You are fake-ass people taking the innocence of our children. I know plenty of you. Plenty. And I can tell you, Christians have done bad things. As a matter of fact, I want to share this clip just so that you know that Christians do condemn what is not biblical. You have heard me talk about people that only preach prosperity. That is not your calling. Your calling is to preach the good news of salvation and repentance. Here we go. Let's hear it from Mother Miriam, whom is a Catholic, of course. I'm not a Catholic. And there is this. I love the devotion of the Catholics. But I have this one thing against them, that they have made idols and images, and they pray to false gods. That's what I have against them. But here's Mother Miriam, and she is going to say Pope Leo XIV is just continuing Pope Francis' woke LGBTQ agenda. Now, this is about 4 or 5 months ago from Mother Miriam, a Catholic nun. Let's take a listen.
Been tempted to give you a list of everything that Pope Leo XIV has done since he was made 267th, I believe, Pope. I'm not going to do it. It's utterly depressing. And in the beginning, people heard some good things from him. Not outstanding, but good, seemingly safe,
Now, before you listen to her, I want you to ask yourself this question. How many Muslims have ever corrected, exhorted, or rebuked any of their leaders. Think about that while you watch this video.
Non-combatant against the Catholic faith, and most people who might put themselves in the conservative camp said we're going to give him the benefit of doubt and wait. Well, it doesn't mean that he hasn't done any good things, but I cannot give him the benefit of the doubt anymore because he has supported the LGBTQ agenda. And that is the agenda that our Lord, for which our Lord destroyed Sodom and Gomorrah, and wrote in the scriptures that no homosexual will enter the kingdom of heaven. Did he die for homosexuals? He died for all of us. He died for every sin that anyone ever committed. But that we would repent and turn our lives around by his grace and enter the one holy Catholic Church, the only ark of salvation that he established on earth, and be saved. You cannot be saved if you are part of the LGBTQ plus agenda. You cannot. If you support it, there's no salvation for you because it's against the faith once delivered to the saints. Mother, are you telling me that Pope Leo won't go to heaven? I can't tell you who goes to heaven and who doesn't. I can tell you what Scripture says. No homosexual will enter heaven. No one will see the kingdom of heaven. No one.
You see the difference between Christians and Muslims? We call it as it is, baby. We call it as it is. My mad respects to this lady, which, by the way, I said it yesterday. She reminds me of my grandmother, and I'm so glad that I came across her channel. Look it up. She is Mother Miriam. Look her up, and as a matter of fact, I'll copy here. Let me copy the link, and I'm going to put it here. Even if you're not a Catholic, okay, just listen to what she says. Everything she says is biblical, at least on the couple of videos. This is the second video that I share with you about her. And I want you to know that that is the difference between us Christians. We acknowledge we're not perfect. We acknowledge we fall short of grace. But that's why we have Jesus Christ, who was perfect. And the devil has been making stories about him having children. No, he didn't. He was clean. All the way. Clean. That's how he was able to die for our sins, besides him being God, reincarnated, made into flesh from a Virgin Mary. Who, which, by the way, was not a virgin after Jesus was born, because Joseph knew his wife afterwards. Okay? But yes, Mother Miriam. Here we go.
One. And so for a pope of all people, the head of the church that Christ established, to say that LGBTQ people are welcome in the church, what does that mean? Are they welcome to live their lifestyle and think there's a chance of their being saved?
I will also put her link on my description.
Are they welcome to receive the Holy Eucharist, communion, which would be a total lie for them because they're not in communion with the church? They're welcome to flood into the Vatican at over 12,000 souls in T-shirts and shorts. When I visited the Vatican, there was a sign outside that no shorts were allowed, not by anybody. And now they can come half naked, and the Pope blesses them and celebrated a Mass for them. This is demonic, beloved. It's demonic. Is it my judgment? No, it's the church's judgment. Read Romans chapter 1. The wrath of God is against all unrighteousness of men who suppress the truth in unrighteousness and exchange the truth for a lie. That's what homosexuals have done, lesbians, anyone part of the LGBTQ community or who support them. And that's what Pope Francis has done, and now Pope Leo, who supports Pope Francis's agenda, and Father James Martin. It's an abomination, beloved. God is building his church. I can't pass any judgment on what God allows. I cannot. There's no way for me to do that. But we don't pass judgment on Scripture. Scripture passes judgment on us. And any priest, any bishop, any cardinal, any pope who welcomes LGBTQ community into the church and blesses them has bought into Satan's agenda. If I meet an LGBTQ person, a lesbian, a homosexual, whatever, or someone who supports them, should I invite them to church? I want to. Yes, I will. But I will tell them that they may not participate in communion. They must dress properly to come into church. No shorts, no thongs, no LGBTQ paraphernalia. They must respect the Holy Eucharist.
She's so cute. She's so cute, man. Let me tell you something. If you don't know anything about me, people with wisdom, people that know how to communicate, turn my brain on. I love listening to people that have common sense. I love it. Mikey, you're wrong. Just because you are not saved, just because you haven't felt the Holy Spirit, doesn't mean that it doesn't exist. I have experiences, so I can say that I am witness. That is true. Nothing in the Bible contradicts itself. Everything in the Bible is true and accurate. Even science backs it up. But science doesn't back up the Muslims, does it? Even though science is used by the socialist leftist mentality that science is God. They don't believe in God. This is one of the reasons why I tell you guys that the new socialist Democrats, it is a Marxist, communist, socialist party. Marxism does not believe in God. Communism gives the power to the government to do whatever they want with your money. Socialists, they want to help people around, which is great. But you can't help somebody if you cannot help your house. So if your house is in disorder, how can then you go make the house of God in order? How can you go and preach about love if you can't tell the truth? I am not worthy of being a Christian leader because my qualifications don't allow me to be. That's just what I believe, though. According to the scriptures, neither drunkards, neither fornicators, neither adulterers, neither homosexuals are going to heaven. Here is God's grace. For God that so loved the world gave his only begotten Son, Jesus Christ, to die for our sin. I want you to picture this. You are falling in a hole. Thank you for the gifts. You are falling in a hole where there is nothing to stop you from landing in the pit of hell. Nothing. Think of it. Think of Jesus Christ as an olive branch, as a rope. And Jesus is reaching out his hand to you. Anybody, any sinner, even me. And he says, come to me. Repent from your sins. Accept Jesus Christ as your Lord and Savior. But you must do this willingly. You must believe it. And then you have to do one key thing. You have to say, Holy Spirit, you are welcome in this temple. And then God will show himself to you. Only those who are chosen by God will have the experience. That's all I can tell you. I cannot convince you. Man, God have mercy. Democrats are exposed for a plot to hinder Trump's war powers. Let's see what this is about. Again, I haven't seen this video, so bear with me. Let's go ahead and listen to it together and see what we gather from it.
Well, Democrats are rolling out a new strategy to undermine President Trump's wartime authority. I guess you could call it repeated failure at this point. A group of House Democrats, though, reportedly plans to force a vote on an Iran war powers resolution every day until one finally passes, or U.S. operations in the region end, whatever comes first to them. The House voted it down last week, but it failed only by one vote, and that was because Jared Golden, a Democrat out of Maine, voted for it. Two swing district Democrats are enthusiastic for voting against it. One says she'll welcome it, and other promising, I'll vote for it as many times as we need. Senator John Fetterman not afraid to put his country over party politics.
I've been the only Democrat that has supported epic fury, and now we're 48 days into it, and none of this has been illegal. Every single president in those 47 years have effectively dealt with the Iranian nuclear problem and the danger.
History has shown President Trump's Iran action is not unusual. Presidents from both political parties have used war powers without Congress formally signing off. A new opinion piece by a Democrat strategist argues, quote, Democrats need Trump to fail in Iran because if he succeeds, Democrats are exposed as unserious people with an unserious worldview and no coherent plan on national security that makes sense in the real world, end of quote. In focus now, Senator Marsha Blackburn, Republican of Tennessee and candidate for governor there. Great to have you today. First of all, talk to me about this as a strategy. Can they peel off enough Republicans to finally put this War Powers Act against the president through?
Harris, they've already tried this 7 times in the Senate, and they're planning to do it every single day. This is something that is a delay tactic for them. They want to keep us from funding DHS, from funding ICE, and they want to keep us from passing the Save America Act. So they're using this as a delay tactic. And as you well know, most people say, let's get this finished. Let's make certain that Iran is no longer able to be the world's largest sponsor of terrorism, whether it is Hezbollah, Hamas, the Houthis, any of the other dozen splinter groups that get the majority of their budget, about 90% of their budget from Iran, and that money comes from oil sales. So most people say, let's have President Trump continue to show his leadership. Let's have him finish the job, and let's have some peace in the Middle East and restore some calm and certainty by defeating these terrorist organizations.
Well, a heated exchange yesterday, Senator. Republican Congresswoman Elise Stefanik defended President Trump and pushed back hard against Jake Tapper on CNN, his claim that the president effectively called for genocide in Iran. Let's watch this together.
I just think a call for genocide on a college campus and a call for genocide made by the president of the United States, like, they're both bad, right? I mean, that's what I think.
President Trump didn't call for genocide, Jake. You were putting those words in his mouth.
Is calling for wiping out a civilization, is calling for wiping out an entire civilization.
Wiping out a civilization is not genocide. If you believe that, you're a freaking moron. Go find out what a civilization is.
It's the Iranian terrorist regime.
But that's not what he said.
Of course it's bad. That is not what he is calling for. He wasn't calling for genocide.
Your entire civilization
it was targeted towards the Iranian terrorist regime. It was targeted towards the Iranian terrorist regime.
Agree to disagree. The book
CNN.
Senator, your reaction.
Well, of course, Congresswoman Stefanik is accurate in this because it is time that the IRGC and the Ayatollahs people, his cabinet there in Iran, be held to account. Harris, we have to realize that tens of thousands of Americans have been adversely impacted by the actions of Iran and what they are carrying out with these terrorist organizations. They have been at war with us for 47 years, and President Trump is saying enough. And taking away the ability of Iran to have a navy, that involves the Hormuz Strait and making certain we open it up, removing their ability to have ballistic missiles, and making certain they can never, ever have a nuclear warhead. That is what President Trump is doing. Now, for my children and grandchildren, I don't want them to have to live with a nuclear-powered Iran. No one wants them to have a nuclear weapon. It doesn't matter if it's neighbors in the Middle East or if it is the work they're doing with Russia, China, North Korea, this axis of evil that has been there. You have to break that. And President Trump is saying, look, whether it is going after this enriched uranium, whether it is destroying these ballistic missiles, whether it's making certain that we open the Strait of Hormuz so that we can get these gas prices down, these are important steps. They're important not only for the U.S., they're important for every country on the face of the earth. I wish that these countries would step up and do their part to help push back on this. They have all also been adversely impacted by the actions of the Ayatollah being in power over the last 47 years in Iran.
But none of us should be surprised when we see what Iran has done and continues to do. Is it fired on ships yesterday, and it's fired on other countries. Now the world gets to see what we've always known. You don't want these people to have a nuclear capacity and weaponry. A vocal anti-Israel Democrat could be at the top of the ticket for a U.S. Senate seat in Michigan. This...
Oh, here we go. This is what the socialist Democrats, like SoCal, support when they go against us and Trump. This is exactly what you get. Any illegal immigrant trying to insult me here, I don't give a shit. But this is what I am trying to warn you about. This is what I am trying to tell you. That if you're celebrating the midterms is going blue, you are a dumb ass. You don't know what you're doing to this country. This is what I'm warning you about right here. They straight up don't give a shit about American citizens. None. Not one shit about Americans. And you're going to be responsible for what happens to this country. I just pray that whatever happens, that our souls continue to fight temptation and hate, and that we continue to believe and hope in Jesus Christ. That's all I can tell you. Anybody that wants to judge me, first of all, if you don't believe in God, don't judge me by the Bible, because you're a hypocrite. And if you judge me without the Bible, you better make sure that you haven't made mistakes in your life. For either way, you are going to be a hypocrite no matter what. I don't believe we're going to go blue, period. And I think that if we did, I'm hoping not, but I am thinking that if we did, they will piss off the people, the real Americans that love this country. They will piss them off enough to go out there and get justice for themselves. I don't want that. And this is why I opened my podcast. We don't want Civil War II. You, SoCal, are in the middle class pretending to be this African man that knows about slavery. Please, shut the hell up. Don't think I didn't see you over there talking shit on the conservative channel. And the black conservatives Oh my God. Good job, SoCal. Great converse. Shut the hell up. I know what you're about. You are a hypocrite and you hate America. You don't care about the hardworking class of the Americans. You live in your little cozy middle class, whatever the hell that thing it is that you said. But I care about those people as well. I care about all Americans. Listen, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what the Democrats do. Did you not see all the Democrats being caught with fraud, with scams? Did you not see the Democrats dropping off of government races like Swalwell, your favorite idol? Did you not see what's happening to Gavin Newsom? That's your favorite idol as well? Did you not see what's happening to a Barack Obama, another one of your favorite idols? That's right, biatch. You're not going to win. Pussies will not take over this country. We will show up at the ballot booth. And we will fight with our voices. We will vote for the right people. The socialist Democrats are such pieces of shit that they are running as pretending to be Republicans. They are cheaters by nature. They are liars. And if you vote for a Democrat on these midterms, you are a fool. Because they are liars. They are cheaters. They are scammers. Ilhan Omar, she is effed up. She got caught. Many more are being caught. And you losers supporting socialist Democrats are the stupidest, dumbest people on earth. You are so retarded, I don't even have a word to give you. But I hope that more Americans with common sense will drop the Democratic Party, which, by the way, the Democrats left us a long time ago. This is why we're here. This is why we join with Republicans, with conservatives, with independents, and other mind-thinking alike Democrats, real Democrats, the ones that actually fight for American citizen rights. But if it is God's will, let it be his will, not our own.
Take is from Abdul El Sayed, sparking plenty of outrage. Look at this.
You said the Israeli government is evil. Do you think they're just as evil as Hamas?
Yes, killing tens of thousands of people makes you pretty damn evil. It's not how evil is this one versus that one. Hamas, evil. Israeli government, evil. We could say both.
Is Netanyahu, in your view, he's a war criminal?
Absolutely. Do you not think he is? When you conduct a genocide, you're a war criminal.
These comments come amid horrifying interviews of women in Gaza. They reveal widespread sexual abuse at the hands of Hamas terrorists. Those women told reporters Hamas members are specifically targeting people who reached out to them in desperation, such as widows, recent divorcees, and young or single mothers, promising them even simple things such as rice and sugar for exchange for sex. Look, again, when evil people do more evil things, it's not that it shocks us, but they pick on their own people and they pick on the weakest and the neediest among them. They are sick animals, Hamas.
And what we have seen is that Iran is who has been keeping Hamas in power, and they're the ones that have been funding them. They're the ones that funded the October 7th attacks. And for this individual to be supportive of Hamas, and remember, a few weeks back, he didn't want to say anything about the death of the Ayatollah because there were people in Dearborn who were sad. I think that was his direct quote. And this individual has absolutely no business being in the U.S. Senate. And when you take that oath in the Senate, you are taking an oath to defend and support the Constitution of the United States. You are taking that oath as a serious oath. And this is not someone who is standing with our American principles. This is not someone who is supporting our troops. This is someone who is claiming that Hamas is no more evil or bad, or that don't blame them. Look at these other governments. Look at Israel. But we have to remember, Harris, for 47 years, every day, the Ayatollah would say, death to America, death to Israel.
Yeah, I mean, when you were talking like that and talking about the number one job of government in total, but El Sayed's, I mean, the number one job, if he should get elected to Senate, is to protect the American people, the ones particularly who live in his state. And as you lay out who he is with and what he said and what he hasn't said and all of that, the question then has to be asked, is he willing to do his number one job? I mean, that's what I would ask him. Senator, thank you. Be sure to like.
Let me clarify something for you here, Mr. SoCal. I'm going to try not to insult you too much, because you already know how I feel about your dumbass. You say you'd rather have money used on health care. Well, what the hell do you think you're going to have of health care if you don't have a damn country? Answer that question. The only reason why you can even say that is because we have been fighting so that you can have a health care. When we tell you the truth about illegal immigrants getting health care, you deny it. When I say that our veterans are only our American citizens should be prioritized with our money, you fight it. That's why you get on my nerves. You privileged, ungrateful son of a bitch. While Americans have a sovereignty country, they have a land, sacrifices have been made, wars have been fought, we have what we have today. The fact that you don't support our military and you're cheering for Muslim corruption. I don't give a shit if you think you're from Africa. As a matter of fact, you say you're from South Africa. So you might not even be black. You go out there and play the damn victim card with black conservatives. That shit don't work with me. None of my kids that are black are a victim of this country. None of them. Because of idiot people like you, SoCal, this country is going down to shit. And this is why we voted for Trump. And now you and your dumbass people want to say a big blue wave is coming? Please. Please. Kenneth, shut the hell up. Stop talking about Jesus or God like you are such a believer. You ain't no Christian. You're a fool. Nathan, you are a tool for Satan. Israel is our friend and ally, and we have benefited a lot from Israel. A lot. Listen, I don't insult everybody, but there are certain people that I know by now that I know that they're just stupid. It's just like, Lord, I don't know how you do it. How do you have patience with us? We are stupid people. We don't deserve your mercy. I am not Jesus Christ. He can handle everything, not me. Who told you that cursing is a sin? You lying snake. Calling you a snake is an insult. It's foul language. Calling you a hypocrite is an insult. It's foul language. Calling you out on your lies is foul language. You viper. Calling you the devil, Satan. That is bad language. So, Cal, that's because you don't know shit about it. Who's giving us the golden dump technology? Who has been stopping all these terrorists from coming over to this country so that you can be an entitled brat? If you're going to judge me here for saying some bad words, tell me, what do you agree with me on? I want to see your true side. What do you agree with me? Cussing, cursing? Do you think there's a difference between poop, shit, and crap? I don't. It's the same shit. Stinks the same way. Now, you can say, I should be more polite. Sure. But we're adults. What do you do when you're on the street and you have all these people just cussing up a storm? Do you go out on the street and also tell them that they're sinning by cursing? You hypocrite. For you think in your brain you already sinned. No, you don't. You don't. Tell me, are you free of sin, Kenneth? You know why the Bible says, judge not, lest ye be judged? You're judging me for my language. Well, I can probably judge you on your spiritual life. I can judge you for your hypocrisy. So now what? So, Cal, listen, man. I talked to you plenty of times, but the stupidity of your brain, I just can't handle it. I just can't handle it. It's like talking to my ass. It just doesn't talk back. It just farts. That's just how it is. All right, so here's the thing. You guys don't pay me. You guys don't support me. So I really don't give a shit about you. And I'm going to give you a break. All right, you can go somewhere else. All right, here we go. Unfortunately, we have 2 CIA agents that were killed down in California. I am not your kind of Christian. I'm not going to let you walk over me, and I'm not going to let you talk shit to me. I will talk shit back to you. I am not Jesus Christ.
Details this hour about 2 Americans who were killed in Mexico after their car plunged 600 feet off a cliff. And now new questions about their reported ties to the CIA. Senior foreign policy correspondent Jillian Turner is live at the State Department with the latest. Jillian.
Good afternoon to you, John. New bombshell reporting out now that these U.S. officials who were killed over the weekend, alleged to be U.S. embassy officials assigned there, were in fact CIA operatives who were working on a Mexican cartel drug bust. This according to the Washington Post. Now, Mexico's president, Claudia Sheinbaum, says that Americans were not authorized to be in that region of the country and may have in fact violated Mexico's national security laws.
No teníamos conocimiento. We were not aware of any direct work or coordination between the state of Chihuahua and personnel from the U.S. Embassy in Mexico. So we are requesting all the information from the government of Chihuahua and also from the United States government and reviewing whether there is any violation of the national security law.
At this site, it was a suspected chemical drug lab run by Mexican cartels. U.S. as well as Mexican officials managed to seize chemical reactors, mixing instruments and storage containers, gas tanks, all this in a rural part of Mexico's Chihuahua region, where these 2 American officials and actually 2 Mexican officials also with the local Chihuahua State Investigation Agency all died.
There was a convoy of 5 vehicles. The crashed vehicle was in front, leading the convoy. It was nighttime. We are talking about around 2 a.m., and it appears to have skidded in one area and fallen into a ravine, causing the pickup truck to explode.
So all of this, John, as you can imagine, raises some meaty questions about the U.S. relationship with Mexico. President Trump, as you well know, often touts his closeness with Mexico's president. She is now calling out the United States and saying your officials weren't authorized to be here. She's also investigating, as I mentioned earlier, to see now whether they violated any national security laws. And, John, all this against the backdrop of these two countries trying to renegotiate the USMCA trade deal right now. John.
And we'll see what President Trump has to say about this now that all these details are coming to light. Jillian Turner for us. Jillian, thanks.
Be sure to like.
I'm actually curious. What do you guys think about that? Let's change gears a little bit. All these libtards are pissing me off too much. I wish that you guys care about this country, man, as much as I do. What do you guys think about that? Here, first